Computers, however, can handle these calculations with greater precision and speed, enabling us to predict asteroid trajectories more accurately and earlier. This advanced capability would allow us to develop more effective mitigation strategies, potentially saving lives and preventing catastrophic impacts. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence could be dramatically enhanced by quantum computing. Analyzing the vast amounts of data from radio telescopes and other sensors to detect signals from alien civilizations is a daunting task for classical computers. Quantum computers, with their superior data processing capabilities, could sift through this data much more efficiently, identifying patterns and anomalies that might indicate the presence of extraterrestrial technology. Additionally, quantum algorithms could model and simulate potential alien communication methods, expanding our search parameters and improving our chances of making contact with other intelligent beings. Black holes are among the most enigmatic objects in the universe, with gravitational forces so strong that not even light can escape. Quantum computing could provide new insights into the physics of black holes, including their formation, evolution, and the nature of their singularities. By simulating the extreme conditions near black holes with high accuracy, quantum computers could help us understand how they warp space-time and what happens to matter and information that falls into them. This could lead to breakthroughs in our understanding of general relativity and quantum gravity, potentially resolving long-standing paradoxes like the information loss problem. Dark matter, which makes up about 27% of the universe, remains one of the greatest mysteries in cosmology. It does not emit, absorb, or reflect light, making it invisible to current detection methods. Quantum computing could help unravel the properties of dark matter by simulating its interactions at the quantum level and analyzing astronomical data for subtle effects caused by its presence. This enhanced understanding could lead to the development of new detection methods and help us comprehend the true nature of dark matter, shedding light on the missing mass of the universe. String theory, which posits that the fundamental particles are not point-like, but rather one-dimensional strings, aims to reconcile quantum mechanics and general relativity. However, the mathematical complexity of string theory has made progress slow. Quantum computing could accelerate this research by efficiently solving the intricate equations involved and simulating the multidimensional spaces that strings inhabit. This could lead to a deeper understanding of the fundamental forces of nature and the structure of the universe at its most basic level. Quantum computing could also play a pivotal role in exploring the origins of the universe. By simulating the conditions of the Big Bang with high fidelity, quantum computers could provide insights into the fundamental processes that shaped the early universe. These simulations could help us understand how the universe evolved from a hot, dense state to the complex cosmos we observe today. This knowledge could also shed light on the fundamental laws of physics and the nature of space and time. And the concept of parallel universes, or the multiverse, suggests that our universe might be one of many coexisting universes with different physical laws and constants. Quantum computing could help explore this intriguing possibility by simulating different quantum states and their interactions. These simulations could provide insights into how parallel universes might arise and interact, offering a deeper understanding of the fabric of reality itself. If parallel universes exist, quantum computing radical life extension could become a reality. Quantum computing could one day hold the key to achieving human immortality, a concept that has fascinated humanity for centuries.
All right, everybody. Good to see you this morning. And if you have not heard, which you have not, because I'm very secretive, there's something on your screen. It is called quantum resonance. It is an audio podcast series that 100% is or may not be amazing. I cannot confirm or deny, but you can only get it on Red Circle. You can only get it on Red Circle. I will tell you, this has over 100 episodes. just so we know. This has over 100 episodes. It's not just
We
my
do have
log.
time for 100 episodes, and Mr. Smith.
I time travel a lot, and I go out into the future and I grab these things and I bring them back. Yes, exactly. So quantum resonance is a real thing. It's completely
Well,
law
that
of attraction.
explains it.
Yes. Completely law of attraction, completely all my teachings for sure, but in a very entertaining way because it's a TV series that happens to be an audio series. So be ready. And maybe I should tell you about it. Should I tell you about it? And then we get, so I should probably tell you. Okay. Actually, I might let Grace read. Is Grace here for her reading capabilities? And
She stepped away just for a moment, but I'm available.
and you do read well. You went to school.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Yes. All right, then. Well, we'll put it up on the screen. There you go.
Okay. Quantum resonance. Thank you. Quantum resonance, a transformative audio journey. Quantum resonance is an exclusive, let me make this bigger, please excuse me. There we go. Quantum resonance is, is an exclusive, high production, audio only podcast series that reimagines the beloved concepts of the 90s classic Quantum Leap with a fresh, transformative perspective. Inspired by the teachings of Antonio T. Smith Jr., this series invites listeners on a profound journey through time, space, and consciousness, emphasizing the inherent perfection in all things. A journey across timelines. At the heart of quantum resonance is Dr. Malik Evans, a brilliant quantum physicist and spiritual seeker whose life's work is dedicated to understanding the deep connections between consciousness, time, and the universe. On August 30th, 2024, Malik activates his experimental quantum resonance chamber, a device that doesn't just propel him through time, but aligns him with the infinite intelligence that underpins all existence. This leap marks the beginning of Malik's extraordinary journey across various timelines, starting in 1981, where he finds himself inhabiting the lives of individuals at pivotal moments in history. A new kind of time travel. Unlike conventional time travel narratives, quantum resonance delves into the concept of non-correction. Malik's leaps are not about fixing what appears broken, but about understanding and revealing the hidden order in life's apparent chaos. However, Malik's instinctive drive to change and improve situations is at the heart of his struggle. Each time he leaps, he is confronted with dilemmas that test his desire to intervene and make things right. Malik wants to change the world. He sees the suffering, the injustices, and the chaos, and every fiber of his being urges him to step in and fix it. His scientific mind races with possibilities, strategies, and solutions, while his compassionate heart aches to ease the pain of those around him. The audience is drawn into Malik's internal battle as he tries his best to change outcomes, to bend the trajectory of events towards what he perceives as a better future. Exploring deep themes. Each episode of Quantum Resonance is a rich exploration of spirituality, consciousness, and the universal themes that define the human experience. The series reflects Antonio T. Smith Jr.'s core teaching that everything is perfect, challenging both Malik and listeners to see the divine order in every event, no matter how challenging. Malik's internal conflict, torn between the urge to intervene and the wisdom of acceptance, adds layers of tension and depth to each narrative, making his journey as much about self-discovery as it is about the people he encounters. A unique listening experience. The audio-only format of Quantum Resonance creates an intimate and immersive experience. where the sound design and narrative structure draw listeners into the unfolding mysteries of each lead. The series is recognized for its innovative storytelling,
Okay, you
blending
stop right
science.
there. You can actually
Okay.
stop right there. I don't want you're giving away too much information now. Okay, you're doing too much. You're giving away too much information. All right,
Antonio,
here it is right here. Yes, sir.
in other words, time travel is just, oh, that's old school. We have a new kind of time travel.
That's correct. That
All right.
is correct. Yes,
Just
sir.
checking.
That is correct. Now I'm showing you this. Allow me 2 minutes and then the point will be clear. Just allow me 2 minutes before you do what human beings do. Now, there it is, exclusively on red circle. Now, this is why I want you to pay attention, especially if you want to be a CEO one day. I want you to pay attention, or if you want to have a personal brand or anything like that. This is completely, well, you'll see. So allow me 2 minutes. Exclusively on red circle, then I'll put the link back out there again. And I want you all to begin to receive that. In fact, I said, give me 2 minutes. I'll do it right now. I want you all to begin to receive that you can do anything that you desire to do. It's really not hard at all. It's not. It's not hard at all. But here's the deal. There's so many different things that you can do. And there's so many different ways that you can create extreme wealth. So many different ways. There's so many different ways you can express yourself. You're just looking at one of them. So if you have a podcast of any kind, take your current skill sets, whatever they may be, and create exclusive content, and you will bless your life. You don't have to try to be the richest man in the world, or for this particular setting, the richest man in the trash can. Your job is simply to create exclusive content, and you can change your life. Is this received? All right. Now, in my particular case, Semigoa, I've got a bunch of skills that make this higher quality. You don't need all that. And this is highly produced, over 100 episodes, and it's one heck of a journey. It's one heck of a journey. I could have made it a book, but I decided for $4.99 or whatever it is to make it exclusive content material that fits on my Law of Attraction podcast, because I have a way, if you haven't read my fiction books, then you would understand, but I have a way of putting all my teachings into a narrative that makes it fun to eat, because I'm always talking to my children, and my children have to learn these complex things inside of stories, which gives me great transition now to Density 6. I've been in the whole time. You should recognize in yourself that many things are happening and many things are changing. They're just fastly moving, fastly changing. So I'm going to tell you a lot of stuff, and some of the bills from last week. I hope, I hope two things. I hope thing number one, you recognize this is a business meeting and I literally don't have to open it up and do anything. I don't. Like, I really don't. Okay. And every now and then, well, we used to post this publicly all the time, but I don't think I've done it in about 6 months. I'm here now. So, but I want you to learn, and I want you to operate on a different level. Okay. Especially Semigoa. I have not told you this, but I contacted Semigoa yesterday, and I'm pulling him. So when I be randomly putting you on Zoom, I'm going to put him on Zoom too. I'm going to teach him how to do these big government contracts, because I promised him upon hiring that I would teach him how to be a great CEO. So I promised him that. And
Yay!
yes. Now, Semigoa, I will admit to you, it's boring. I didn't say that there was a party in the background. and the festival, no, it's boring. And once I'm locked in, she just got to sit there and be quiet. But we will make sure you get all the stuff you need. I've already sent him everything you sent me, Pastor Tony, over. I zipped it and sent it to him so he can just get an eye on things. These things are complex, etc. As of Wednesday, we did finish. We put in a $28 million contract to Access Health Connecticut. Grace, do you have the ability to pull that up, please? Now, I'm not telling you we're going to win this. I am telling you that we are finalists. I can tell you that much. But I'm not telling you that we're going to win this. I can just tell you that the total bid was over $28 million over the next 5 years. Here's the vision moving forward. Let me let Grace. Let me take y'all one step at a time. I forgot y'all. My brain can partition itself, and I'll be taking some of y'all. There you go. That's actually the company. Access Health Connecticut. Go ahead. You click it. Oh, your stuff tripping. Okay, I got you. Well, assume she clicked it, and it showed.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
It's all good. You can stop the screen. You ain't gotta stress out. You ain't gotta stress out for sure. All right, you don't have to stress out. Let me pause it real quick. Yesterday's. So this is while these kind of look the same, they're not the same. This is a business meeting. So I ain't telling you to have your cameras on. Right? You do what you want. You can do what you want. You do what you want. Thursday nights is therapy, in a therapy. And a lot of you all had a transformational time last night. And all the people who emailed me have been assigned an assignment. In this particular case, you've all been assigned the same assignment. After that, you will have individual assignments. You have individual assignments, okay? But you've all been assigned the same assignment. So just know that we are working through, thank you, Grace. We are working through your mental health as well. So that's Access Health. You can stop them right there, Grace. They're not paying us yet. As soon as they pay us, we can give them free advertisement. Yes. Okay. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Tracy is in school. School has started back today. Y'all done sent y'all kids to her class. So she's going to ask for the replay for sure. Here's the vision moving forward. Before you check out, double task, multitask, be double-minded or be blessed-minded. I have no idea. This is just yin and yang. Here's a vision moving forward. My vision is to have 10 projects moving at one time. Okay. 10 projects moving at one time. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I may be jumping the gun, but
Okay.
for those of us who are building brands, how do you have 10 projects moving at one time, not overwhelming yourself and not missing anything in each project? Because I know this one right here has like 15 different projects moving at one time, and I can't do them. And I know I'm missing something somewhere. And I know sometimes I drop the ball with some of them, but I want to make sure while I'm building my brand, because I'm also in your credit class, and I want to and because I'm following your plan with the tiers, the 5 tiers, I want to make sure that I'm building in a way where I don't drop the ball with any of them, because I have a podcast, I have a store, I have my management company. Grace and I are partnering in the company. I have my nonprofits. Like, I have a lot going on and I don't want to miss nothing. I'm also partnering with a couple of people when it comes to my brand and the 46 Laws of Becoming and doing programs with them. So I have a lot going on. So how do you, as the trillionaire CEO you are, have multiple projects going on at one time and not dropping the ball? Because I'm running parallel with you. Like, we are partners in this and I'm a reflection of you. So I want to make sure I reflect the same greatness that you are.
Girl, you preaching. Girl, you preaching.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay. Wait. Before you answer. Taylor Swift had to. No, really. I need you to receive what she said. Trillionaire CEO. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, amen. I should receive that. Okay. You had like 9 questions in there, and I'm going to answer all of them. Let me tell you what I mean by projects. But the first thing you need to
Give me 1
recognize.
second. Let me pull out my notes. Hold on.
Pull out your notes. The first thing y'all need to realize is, and I'll slow down for her, is my business is very different than yours. My business can take on 1,000 projects because I'm not smart. Y'all have the smart problem. I don't have the smart problem. I have no idea what Phil and Susan do on a daily basis or a monthly basis. I just know they follow in the vision, so I know it's well. If I was smart, I would know everything that they do. I'm already teaching. I have no idea the questions that they ask y'all. I just know they sent them to me once, and I was like, beautiful. And I ain't had a conversation with them again about it. I just know they are crushing it. That's a positive thing in young folk talk. I know they are crushing it. A part of being successful is to lose control. And none of y'all businesses.
Did you just teach me something?
I did. And none of y'all businesses.
Repeat it for me one more time.
You have to lose complete control. I have no idea what Phil and Susan doing. I just know they're doing a good job. They have the full freedom to do that good job, and they make decisions without me. And every now and then, Susan and Phil are coming through, and Susan will lead the conversation every now and then and tell them, we just want to make sure. And then I'll say, don't worry about it, Susan, do whatever you want to do. And then she'll ask me again, and Phil will go, baby, he said do whatever you want to do. Right. So that's exactly how it goes. Every now and then. I have no idea what they're doing. My business is structured to handle 1,000 projects because Dion is doing whatever Dion is doing because I gave her the vision and I told her to be a genius inside that vision. All right, so that's the foundation for the answer to your question. Now let me answer the question. Here's what I mean by
I think I finally got that one down. Okay, so I got to check on that one. Okay.
Good. Here's what Density 6 is doing. By projects, I mean projects outside of the great things that I want to do because they cost billions of dollars. So what I'm doing, Semigoa, this is CEO training, Semigoa. I'm going to get 10 projects of $28 million and more. So that's going to be something like $300 million of projects. If I can make them all call center, I will, because half of this company comes from call center. I will. If I can make them, that's Tony sent me some crazy stuff on social. It was crazy. It was like, I can't even believe people are asking for this. I do this in my sleep, but whatever. Right? All sorts of stuff. And here's the deal. So when I send Dr. Ferris, I just saw him, by the way, he had his camera on. It looks real good. When I send Dr. Ferris, I say, okay, Dr. Ferris, you're going to do, you're working over here for Home Depot. And Dr. Ferris says, well, what do you do? Well, right now I wrote you in as a paycheck for you to, how would I use Dr. Ferris for Home Depot? Actually, let me use Deanna first. He's a better example here. I would say what I need you to do is be the chief quality of life officer. So while they're doing customer service, I need you to call everybody multiple times a day. I need you to give them work, whatever. Like, I need you to make up things that make them increase their quality of life while they're doing this. And your paycheck for this will be $50,000 a year. Okay. Now, Dr. Ferris, and then I'll say something. My goal is to keep you all close to your degrees or close to your passion. So he would be somewhere in ethics and philosophy. So then I would have him with Home Depot creating the philosophy of the customers, and I would have him separate conservative from liberal and in between. And I would have him getting philosophical points based on the customers that come in and the data. So we can then feed that to Home Depot so they can have an understanding about their customer clientele. And so we can create different scripts for customer loyalty, phone call purposes, so we can talk to these groups of people in this way. And I would say, and your paycheck for this is $60,000 a year. I get the point. And we have 10 of these things going on. And like I told somebody the day before yesterday, if you're on 2 projects, then you get 2 checks. So, okay. So when your W-2 comes in, it's going like while it's going to be one check, it's going to say your pay for this project and your pay for this project, and they're going to be added. And then you're going to get one big old boom. All right. So what's happening is it's already happening right now. I'm going to give you details and share my screen. But what's happening is I'm going for 10 multiple projects, at least 10. Like 10 is my minimum. And I don't have to worry about doing too much because, for one, I'm going to have to hire another 100-something people, but I'm already careful of who I'm hiring. I'm very careful about that because the moment you'll know the moment this is happening when you get your culture guide, because I did finish it. The moment you get your culture guide and the moment you sign your W-2, this is happening. The reason I have not sent them yet is because I got a plan in my head. When you get your culture guide, if I catch you violating the culture, that's a bad thing for you. You don't want to do that. It's a very, very bad thing for you because the culture is the vision. The culture is the behavior. So so I think right now we got 30 something irons in the fire. 40 is a little bit too much, but we got 30 something things from the Department of Energy that I don't know. I forget at this point. I've got Semi-Goa and it's too many people. I can't think right now, but I've got like $8 million for the Department of Energy twice with two different things. We've got Virginia Tech, something. We got part of the government with $200 million that I put out there. They're going to have to owe it. So what I've done is I've got the governments and these big contracts buying all our equipment while paying salaries. Am I answering your question now, Deanna? So everything that we need, Phil, they're buying because I'm pitching it in a manner that says, okay, we can do this, and I'll give you licensing for Rhino Leg CRM, but your license is going to cost this much. And I think I charged Access Health something like, Ina, you would, I don't know, I forget. I charged something. Let me look it up, y'all. Hold on, let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's look it up together, y'all, because I want y'all to see what we're doing. And where is that? 36. Hold on. Allow me this awkward silence. And then government contracts. All right, there we go. Government. And then submitted proposals and Access Health. And then I'll just do pricing proposal. All right, so there's a big thing, but I'm just they had to have me split it up between the full proposal and the price proposal. So I'll show you the pricing proposal here in a second because we have to revise it. So Deanna, I'm trying to answer all 9 of these questions. I put them all in my memory. Is we've got a bunch of things happening because there's a bunch of projects, but I've got project managers. I have set in place project managers. So on one of these projects, I got Phil and Susan as project managers, making $120,000 a year. All Phil and Susan got to do is kanoach. It's just Phil, Susan, here's what's happening. Here's the plan. Here's everybody in charge. Here's everybody. Manage, please. Project manage away.
If I may, Antonio.
Please.
I encourage everybody to go to the Think and Grow Rich Black Choice. We recorded every one of them. You get to hear from the author, and then we have a little conversation during it. It's broken up into hour segments, and if we could get everybody here, get that information in them, that's going to take us to where we're going. So we record every one of them. You can start from the beginning and go along your own pace.
Absolutely.
But it's incredible. Yes. I read Think and Grow Rich probably 7 or 8 times. The one that was printed in 1936. This was in 1991. So the examples that he used back in the 36 are different, obviously, than the examples he's using this year. And this one, they're putting in like famous Amos cookies. They have actually Oprah Winfrey's, her journey from beginning to where she is now. And there's a lot of things I never knew. So I encourage you to, whatever you can, go to the recordings and put that in you, because the more of us in our team that has that in them, the better off we're going to be.
Absolutely. And also, you can join us live on Monday mornings at 9 Eastern time.
Yes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you all. Okay. Y'all, anyway, Grace, if you could remind me to create, and then you just say it to me this way in line up. Create 2 lists for human consultants. 2 lists for human consultants. This is for emailing. So list to me means emailing. And then a list for esoteric. And then a list for density 6. If you could remind me to do that, that would be great. That would be great. Now, when we email y'all officially, it will go to your work email. Moving on here. So y'all can, Deanna, you can see how all these projects, let me share the screen real quick just so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the pricing proposal. This was actually submitted Thursday.
Are you doing that, Antonio?
Yep.
Anybody who hasn't been quote unquote onboarded, that's where we give the 2-minute drill. We go over your standout assessment. We've done about 40 some of them. So I know some of them we've missed. If we haven't done that with you, get in contact with us and we'd like to do it. We do a whole series of things. We do to help you set your goals for the project, see what kind of where your strengths are with the standout assessment. We put together what a organizational health is, and we want to create an organization that's healthy. So if we haven't done that with you, contact us so we can schedule it.
Yes, absolutely. And the only reason if y'all haven't got onboarded is because of me. I'll just tell you right now, I told them to stop.
No, it's my fault.
Well, I was also firing people and I told y'all to stop. So yeah. So everybody here can get there. Pastor Ferris just said that he may have to slip in and out because he got priestly duties. And this is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. He has no choice but to serve the people. Completely understandable. I'll try to give as much information as I possibly can here. Sharing the screen, this is actual documents. This is real deal. This is really, like, these numbers are real. This is what's happening. Blah, 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 introduction. And I'm saying project man. Now, I will tell you all this out loud. Okay. So I'm telling you, out of my mouth, I am telling you out loud. Just because I say project management is for 120,000 or 500,000 does not mean that one person will get that. In this particular case, I do have it slated for that. But here's one of the intelligent things that I'm doing. I'm saying within reasonable budget, within reasonable pricing, that yes, I'm going to have project management, and I'm going to need 350,000 for that. And now there's 350,000 coming. And then I say, okay, Semigola, Jerome, and Ina, and whatever the split of 350,000 divided by 3 is, that's what's happening for one project. Because remember, multiple projects. All right, anyways, just to show this, I won't go through all this, but see this here, the infrastructure to include CRM, our own Rhino Leg CRM integration, $300,000. That also pays for the rest of the stuff that Rhino Leg needs to get it out. So as you can see, I'm putting things in that help out and do all sorts of stuff. And listen, data migration, startup, and transition costs $100,000. This is if you're waiting on a book for me, this is why I haven't been writing books. You know how long that takes? You know how much math is in that? It takes all day. It takes me all day to do that. It takes me 100% all day to do this. If you're waiting on me to program, I can't. Right now, my highest priority is getting our paychecks. I will finish books and programming later because I know you're not going to be mad at me for your book being late when it comes. You're not going to be mad at me for your program being late, but you're damn sure going to be mad at me for not paying you. And so I am prioritizing my paying properly. It just makes sense. So, Deanna, that's all the answers to your question, but I will say more now. I will say if I was you, I would have asked this. And Grace, remind me in 5 minutes to come back to the exclusive podcast. And when I do that, do not hear me promote myself. I do not need to promote myself. I am Antonio T. Smith Jr. I don't have to. You need to hear the point I'm getting ready to make with that. So, Grace, remind me that in 5 minutes. when you, so Deanna, what I wish you would have also asked was, well, then how did you think of this and what does it look like next year? Because I only told you 10 projects immediately as a minimum. So what's going to happen is I'm going to, so we have a nice office. It's a nice little building. And what's going to happen is it's going to start becoming hybrid. And we're going to start having different locations. So for some gigs, some people will be paid a little bit more for relocating. And your payment will include enough money to cover cost of living in that state or region. Doesn't have to necessarily be a state. And it will cover your travel and the relocation of your furniture should you need that to be so. And what's going to happen is you're going to clock in daily, and it's going to be, let's keep in mind this projects, the way I keep using projects. So I'm going to assign 9 people per project, 5 people, just depending on how many people that project needs. So let's say we got 200 and something people. Then I'm going to purposely create a competitive get your certification atmosphere for you all to get better at real life, to go get certifications I'm not paying for you to entice the company for me to put you on certain gigs. For instance, I am currently trying to get Navy Federal on board. I ain't even gonna get into the details, but that comes with a certain amount of certifications that you may or may not need. And we want to do things like that. So what's going to happen is every day you will report to whatever that company's liaison is. So if it's Bank of America, then you're going to be talking to the Antonio Smith of Bank. Well, it won't be Antonio Smith because I wouldn't do that. But it would be an older version, a younger version of Antonio Smith, in which I would have been on that level to where I represent the company. That was back in 2012. So did that for Joel Osteen. I connected Joel Osteen to other companies. I don't do that no more. While that's a high position, it's far too low for me now. So I don't do stuff like that no more. But it's a high paid position. It's a 6-figure position. I just don't think like somebody would make 6 figures at this point. Right. So you'll talk to that person, and that person would be in meetings every single day. And that person would be in meetings. And then that person would say, okay, we like this, we didn't like that. And you would be responsible. Your little small team would be responsible for changing that and making the company look good. And there would be a lot of that around, which is why when you get your culture guide, if you don't abide by it, thou shalt be in trouble. Why? Because, Pastor Tony, it makes sense because I won't be over there. And you're literally going to be representing Density 6. And I don't know what you're doing over there because I've lost control. I've given up control. I don't know what you're doing over there. Also expect a huge push into India around Lindsay. Lindsay is going to be, her birthday is September 6th, by the way, y'all. Her birthday is September 6th. Lindsay is going to be integral. Is she on? She's always on. I'm sure she's on somewhere. Okay, she's always on. She's going to be integral to a lot of the things that we're doing. So anywho, so y'all see the vision? Now, a year from now, Dion, then we get another 10 more, and another 10 more, to where we're bringing in $280 million a month or so, or whatever. And all that pays for the servers and all that stuff that I need semi-gold. You get what I'm saying? It all pays for all that stuff. And each one pays for that equipment. And then we're using all that money as research and development to develop all this great stuff that we got. Go ahead, Deanna.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is every year you go after new projects do you have a certain quarter that you start? Like what quarter do you start going? Like what quarter do you?
It's a great question. For me, it's always third. No, I got you. For me, it's always third quarter. That's why I always told you. That's why I told every person here, third quarter. I did not say anything different. I did not say anything different. I know this because I know my fiscal year starts September 1st. I'm fully aware of this. I know I said this. I know you mad at me. I know you talking trash behind my back and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But I told you third quarter. I did. I did say that. That is your integrity, not mine. Moving on. Always third quarter for me because, and to be honest with you, I'm 2 quarters behind. I'm 2 quarters behind. I forget what delayed me earlier this year. Something delayed me. I'm 2 quarters. So that April 29th, Density 6 started. It was supposed to be January 29th. So I'm actually 2 months behind. I'm actually 2 months. Something delayed me 2 months earlier. Oh, the DUNS number. The DUNS number delayed me. The DUNS number delayed me significantly earlier this year, and that really sucked. And I really hated everything about the DUNS and the SAMs. That's what delayed me. I really hated everything about that. But anyway, just is what it is. Everything's perfect.
When you say,
yes, ma'am.
When you say third quarter, since your fiscal year starts September 1st, is third quarter for you like second quarter? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's
is
a good question
quarter,
because I go by exactly what the world goes by as far as quarters, but then I have my own internal system. I'll give you a great example for this. Come September, I start writing goals for 2025. Now, I don't really set goals, but anyway, I do have goals. So what I start doing is, this is CEO learning. By the month of September, when it's done, I said September 1st. I meant October 1st, y'all, my bad. I meant October 1st. Yeah. I didn't mean September 1st, my bad. I meant October 1st. By the end of September, I'll have all the goals set for 2025. And then what I'll do in October is I will rip those goals apart, test them, shred them, put them under the fire to see if they hold up. And one of the big ways I see if something holds up is personnel. A lot of times y'all will give me a great idea, but you don't realize that I can't deal with that person in that role. You don't know that. Like you don't know that, but I know I can't handle this person in that role. What a great idea, Dion, but I don't have the personnel to actually make that idea work. And if that doesn't make sense to you, become a pastor. You will find that out. Members have great ideas, and then Pastor Ferris and Pastor Tony is going, I can't keep using Grace like that. I mean, she's doing everything around here. I can't keep using the same people. It literally, a lot of times I don't have the personnel to pull off what I want to pull off, Semigoa, and I have to wait. Sometimes I have the personnel, but that personnel is pissed off right now, and I can't use them. I can't use them. It's 2 of y'all I would absolutely fire right now. I would absolutely fire you right now. But the truth is
it I, Lord? Is it I,
no,
Lord?
it's not. No, it's not. But I have no real reason to fire you. Just because you are a butthole and you don't think you are, just because you send me messages that are unfair, just because of that doesn't make you fireable, because it's got an open door policy. You have the right to vent, and I let you vent. I don't say nothing about that. You cross the line in culture when you take that venting to other people.
Do you in turn use that Baptist policy? You know us.
No, I don't. In fairness, you have the right to complain. Complaining does not put you on my bad side. Sabotaging the team does. That puts you on my bad side. Cussing me out, telling me I suck, none of that bothers me. Sabotaging the team, that is what violates the culture. It always will. Okay, I got a couple of private messages here. Oh yeah, fair enough. You know what? Well, you already are. That's why you got that email yesterday. So whether you know it or not, private messenger, you've been hired because you got a top secret email yesterday. So it is what it is. You'll be getting the work email soon, which is going to come up in this call anyway. Going to come up in this call. So that's the big vision moving forward. Yes, sir.
I'm kind of vexed.
Fair enough.
If it's sabotaging the company, why they can't go?
Well,
just let them go.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Let me. Well, man, that's fair. But let me address this here. Sometimes we don't realize we're sabotaging the company. And
if you're talking about Bishop,
it's true. It is true. It is true. But
No,
but
look, future
let me rein it in.
I have been on that side.
Yes.
I have been on that side. I didn't know I was sabotaging the team. He had to tell me, and when he did, I was like, oh, okay, let me not do that again.
Well,
I seriously didn't know.
So there's legalism and then there's grace. Okay, legalism is doing something to the letter of the law. That's not my leadership style. My leadership style is muddy and messy, and I deal with a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have to deal with. But I can also get the greatest, best ideas out of dealing with the stuff I don't have to deal with. If you can think about that, Jesus, should you like or believe in Jesus, led the same way. Like my job is to create a gray area, and then inside that gray area, get the best version of you. That's my job. It's a great book on this. Yes, right. It's a great book on this called Multipliers by Liz Wiseman. Great book, 2014. Thank you, Phil. Phil gave me kudos for that. It's the truth. It's the truth. You talking doesn't bother me because if you have something to say about me, then it's true. Like let's make this very clear. If
Antonio,
yes,
I got something I need to say to you.
Okay.
After last night's class
and
this morning's class,
yes, sir,
I have an epiphany.
And you text me earlier this morning.
I did. You are not a human being. You're a damn alien. And I feel much better now. That's
fair.
all I have to say.
Thank you so much, sir. This is fair. This is an accurate description. Accurate description. Right on time, Jalen. So let me explain something. If you are upset with me and my lack of, like those cats for sure, my lack of leadership, my lack to pay you, my lack of whatever, you're absolutely correct. That doesn't make you right. Just makes you correct. I need to explain this here. You're looking at something with limited knowledge, with limited vision, and you're making your best assessment and you're doing the best you can with what you have. That's 100% accurate. And my job is not to correct you. And if it's not a single person here, Semigola, this is definitely where you pay attention. It's like just that CEO training. There's not a single person here that can say that when you came at me, I went off on you, I corrected you. It don't exist. You cannot say I did so. Now, if you keep going and you keep going, that's fine. I will respond to you. Once I send you evidence to the contrary, and you keep going, and you have, like, you give me all the heat, but then when you see quantifiably, objectively, justifiably in your hand that that's not true, and you have nothing to say for the truth, then I will tell you, I'll create a boundary around you, and I'll tell you, okay, I hear you, but I'm not going to keep participating no more. And it's 5 of y'all that can 100% show that when I said, I'm not responding to this no more, you literally did not listen to me. I do that very well. It's not personal for me. It's just that you are not under any circumstances trying to be fair with your reward as you are with your punishment. Did you hear what I said? As human beings, we should be equally fair with our reward as we are with our punishment. Your interaction with me were all punishment. When you saw that I needed reward, you gave none. You understand? This is where that's not a fireable offense. Now, your job, I got you. Hold on, let me clear this up because there's literally 5 or 6 people here that had this conversation with me, and I don't want them to use this against me. So let me just clear this up. What happens is you then go take that to another team member thinking I'm not going to hear about it just because I don't address it. And then you complain and doobity-dap and all that stuff like that. Now what you're doing is you're being a red ant. You're taking your poisonous self and you're going to bite a worker ant and trying to make them red like you. And any organization's job is to get rid of red ants as fast as possible because red ants do not work. Black ants work. Red ants fight and destroy. That's their job. I know you feel some type of way, but that was a master class in emotional intelligence and CEOing. Okay, go ahead, Jalen.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is when it was time to give grace to you, they only thought about their own personal whatevers. And so they used that personal whatever to spread.
Well, every single person that I didn't bring anybody up, but in every single example, they didn't even respond to the positive. At best, it was a thumbs up.
So it was only about the bad. It was only about what bad you're doing and not the positives you've done.
It was days of punishment and 0% of reward.
And the reward is saying
it doesn't matter. Just once you see the contrary to what you believe, your job as a decent human being is to accept that information and pause. I didn't ask you to turn around. I can't make you turn around. I can't make you repent. That's not my job. You have to at least pause. Now, according to your character, your worldview, your religious beliefs, all that stuff would determine what you do next. But if I can't see a pause to where you separate, when you break from your feelings, from your argument to, okay, that was new information. If I can't see that break, I don't participate.
So it's like humbling yourself, basically.
That's it.
Humble themselves because they thought that their personal whatever was more important than not only what you had going on, but also they overlooked all the good for the
That's right. They also don't care about anything of the team, don't care about anything else but their thing. And all of you are supposed to be selfish about you. But you're supposed to pause enough to go, but there's a big picture here too for Tommy and Thomas and Carol and Bethy and Becky, right? You have to do that. That's called a team. If not, go play tennis. Go play golf. And don't play team golf or team tennis. Like just play ping pong by yourself or table tennis more accurately. Okay. Let me just say this, and I got you, Deanna. Let me just say this, and I got this here. This is about servant leadership. Me being a servant, and here's the crazy thing. This would be out of line or arrogant or whatever if it wasn't true. If anybody here had evidence to the contrary, then I have no leg to stand on. But you don't, because I am so calculative with everything that I do that I make sure I'm never hurt by something I did not say. I make sure of it. So what happens is you start interpreting my silence, but that's your interpretation. But I didn't weaponize my silence. I told you after hours of talking with you, it's just there's no break here, Pastor Tony. So all this is an abusive situation. And there's nothing you can do there. There's nothing you can do. There's no collaboration in abuse. Because there's nothing I can do. This is a collaborative effort. Okay, collaborative effort. So I'm saying this, I'm harping on this point because your job is to duplicate my behavior downward.
Antonio?
Yes, sir.
And testifying to co-signing what you just said, for those that are listening, I was on a call where Antonio was talking about happened, and he was so gracious. He was so kind. And he knew the person was upset. And he said, why don't we take this offline and deal with it instead of dealing with it here? And he did it more than once. And they refused. And it just got uglier and uglier and uglier. And I said, oh my God. And then I tried to jump in there. Because y'all know Uncle Romy wrong. And when I opened my mouth to say a few words, cut my head off. Cut it off. And you know what I did? I shut my mouth and got back into my position because it wasn't my place. It was too much for me.
Hell, it wasn't my place.
It
was a witch hunt.
It was crazy. So I just want to say, folks, he is more than gracious to that other person to give them an opportunity so we can settle this. They wasn't having. Oh, and you didn't notice, Antonio, I got a phone call that following Monday from a certain lady named Pamela in Hawaii who was worried about how I was doing because they were there and observed it. And I went, no, I'm okay. No, she said, she was ready to come and defend me. I'm like, no, I'm okay.
It's exactly the reason, Jerome, it's exactly the reason why, and I do this to everybody. I do this to everybody. I 100% do this to everybody because once I see you doing that, I say, hey, no problem. Let's jump on the phone or Zoom and record it. And that invitation is always turned down.
I don't get why, because you already on a recorded line.
Here's the deal. We're not talking about disagreement at this point. Remember what I introduced. I introduced when you are proven objectively with something you can see, with documents, data that you can see, with screenshots that you can see, and you don't break and you keep going, that's not a disagreement. That's somebody, and that is their character. That's their character. And that is completely narcissistic. And the one thing someone like that will never do is record themselves because their reputation is everything. And they would never record themselves because now the world sees them for what they don't want to be seen as. That's just how it works. You have to remember, I've pastored for a long time. A long time. People keep forgetting that. And then before I was pastoring, guess what my career was? A spy. I literally went from a spy for the United States government to a pastor for the army of the Lord. The experience I have with people is uncanny. This is uncanny.
So Bishop.
Yes, sir.
This is a teaching moment.
I'm trying to use it as a teaching moment. Says y'all questions here. I'm trying to do two things. Excuse me, Rick. I'm trying to do two things. Number one, I'm trying to teach Simi Goa, because CEO, and Deanna, who's CEO, how to CEO. And I'm trying to tell everybody else who don't want to be a CEO, this is how you behave in this company. You're supposed to duplicate my behavior downwardly. You're not supposed to respond to people when they're mean. You're supposed to give them grace. And then you're not even supposed to think they're mean, to borrow from Phil. Understanding replaces a need for forgiveness. It's like one of the few quotes on this planet I remember. Thank you, Phil. Okay. Go ahead, Prophet Jay.
So should have got upset because, can I be honest? I'm tired of this ever since way back. Okay. I ain't been longer than some of the others, but the longest I've been, this BS is going on. And this is not the cliche, but I'm not here for that.
I got you.
You're my bishop, and I just want to teach him on. So should I get in my feelings because of the fact that I know what you're doing and I know where we're going? So should I have been in my feelings when I heard this? No, I call him Bishop. No.
He calls me Bishop because I planted 2 churches and I oversee them to this day. So I actually have 2 churches. So that's why he calls me Bishop. I'm Baptist. Ain't no bishops in Baptist. Okay. That is not allowed. But no, that's what he calls me. But I do have 2 churches. I do oversee 2 churches every single day, especially the second one, which needs my attention daily. It needs my attention daily. I promise it does. Needs my attention daily, for God's sakes. Whew. Great leader. Needs my attention daily for sure. Okay, so the answer to the question is, should I get in my feelings? Deanna, don't forget what you're going to say. Write it down. Should I get in my feelings? You should always be in your feelings about injustice. Always. There's a phrase for it. It's called, what did Martin Luther King do? Righteous. Anyway, we use biblical terms, righteous indignation, but that's not what I'm trying to. Civil disobedience. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah. Okay. Civil disobedience. You should always have civil disobedience going on. However, be angry, but do not sin. This is very important. Okay. Now, to be angry and do not sin. This is very important. Now,
I'm sorry,
all?
Can I also respond to his question?
Yeah, and I'm looking at Dr. Yes, Black Baptists have had bishops, and I ain't one of them. That's them guys that wear them yellow suits, Grace, and and the green ones. No. We, Grace, tell her what color suits we wear in our Baptists.
Black.
And then if it's blue, what kind of blue is it? So blue what?
Dark navy.
So
It's
blue it
black.
look black. Go ahead, Deanna.
Okay, so Prophet, when I tell you, I 1000% understand. And there have been times where I have wanted to unmute my mic and speak my mind for the very reason you just said. But what I started doing was following Antonio's lead. When he offers grace, I offer grace. I still get angry. I still be having words I want to speak, but I'm like, okay, because I know Antonio. If he's okay, I tell myself he's okay. You be okay. This is a part of the journey. But when he's not okay, which is like a purple moon showing up, then that's when I'll say something, because I have said something to people before and those people are no longer with us. But I follow Antonio's lead because I understand it's part of the journey, and because I am literally on his heels with this journey, I understand that the same thing is going to happen to me, not possibly happen to me, but is, like, it's guaranteed it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I'm mirroring him so that by the time it happens to me, I already have instilled in me, this is grace. Prophet, you are a prophet. You are also the CEO of your own brain. This is going to happen to you
It's a part of leadership.
So yeah, so
Leadership comes with crucifixion. It's part of it.
So I would just reflect Antonio until it becomes a natural part of who you are, and trust and believe. What I'm saying right now, it took me years to get here. But I also used to be one of those people that he's referring to.
Right. And that's very Aristotelian of you to let that become a virtue over time. So good job. That's what that is.
Thank you.
Practice something until it becomes a virtue.
Yeah. So I hope that helps. But when you first started talking in my head, I'm like,
yeah. So let me hold on. Yeah. Let me jump in because I don't want I want the conversation to stay teachable right where it's at. I don't want to go nowhere else. Crucifixion is a must for leadership. It just is what it is. And as a leader, you must enjoy being crucified. You don't endure crucifixion. You have to enjoy it. That doesn't mean go kamikaze looking for it. It just means you go, Grace, I taught Grace that, even though that's literally from the scripture, like, is it our Lord? I taught her that circumstance. Jesus goes, Pastor Tony, one of y'all go betray me. And Antonio went, not me, Lord, shoot. Only one of them went, is it our Lord? And that's Peter. And then we should have that spirit of, is it I? You know, I've shown it ain't me. However, though, Jerome, there's some wickedness in me. Is it I? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What if you didn't have to ask because you knew? You know what I'm saying? Like when you were talking, I almost felt like I'm hearing you. I know it ain't me just because like I know where my heart's at.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Antonio?
Fair enough. Yes, ma'am.
It goes back
I want to read this in chat too.
Goes back to a report that I did in 1975. I'm okay, you're okay. I'm okay, you're not okay. I'm not okay, you're okay. I'm not okay and you're not okay. So, you know, it's those things. And that was the beginning of
that was good.
How I saw what was going on with people. And it's interesting that, you know, I was heading that direction, even though I was in other types of things. And now I'm sitting here today and it's sort of the same thing.
Right.
With, you know, with team members, with anybody that you associate with, you're going to have that where you're both okay. And one's okay and the other's not. And then the other one's not okay. And, you know, and then when you're both not okay, that's really when you get in trouble.
That's so profound, Susan. And that's probably the best thing I heard you say all year. And you say a lot of great things. So profound. Joel Osteen taught me something that this is before the Me Too movement. Okay. This is before that. This is before the Me Too movement. I'm about to say Me Too. It means something completely different now. But Joel Osteen taught me that the most powerful sermon in the world is Me Too. Now, when someone's going through something and you don't always have to say it, if you can just sit there and have the energy, I get it. Me too. I've been there before and I know words don't fix it. So I'm just going to sit here. We get rained on together. You in the rain, me too. Your mom just died, me too. Right? That's the most powerful. Now me too means something completely different, Phil. It means something completely different. You know, you got to be careful. These words be changing and stuff. Dr. Ferris said in chat, trust is hard. It certainly is merited for sure. And then people who aren't, apologize for people being unkind to me. Is that people aren't kind, they need to have a gentle exit. Let's talk about the exit real quick. I don't want you. That's not a lie. That's a lie. I don't need you to be kind to me. I do want you to be kind to me. Okay? I do want you to be kind, but I don't need you to be kind to me. I need you to be kind to the team, to the vision. I don't, some of the positions y'all are in, I don't want you to agree with me. I don't have, like, if Dr. Ferris is going to be over AI ethics, which is pretty much his role, I don't need him to disagree. I mean, I don't need him to agree with me. I need him to scientifically agree with me. not science, but I mean that hypothesis, and you know that 8 steps, Grace. I forget what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about, the set of hypotheses. What Antonio says
The
true.
scientific method.
Yeah, the science. That's what I'm trying to say. I need him to scientifically method me. Agree with me. You can't have, because there's no ethics. There's no point in having an AI and ethics department if everything I say is going to be agreed with. That's not ethics. That's yeses. that's
Antonio.
Right. Yes, sir.
And to keep the teaching moment going, we were talking about being mindful of the team. Along the same incident that I told you guys about,
Mm-hmm.
that mentality
Yep.
of destroying the team, it continued in other calls.
That's right.
And because of what Antonio means to me, so I give him a hard time, but I love him more than I love my own family.
I'm about to bring it up.
And I made a folks, I almost didn't, wasn't on this call. I almost left ATS because of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I made a phone call to Deanna, right? And I was upset. And I was pissed. And folks know I don't use profanity unless I was using profanity. And I said, I got a green ID card from the military. I can fly anywhere in the world and it won't cost me more than $15. And the $15 is for food. I says, I will come to Texas. I say, they want to fuck with him? They fucking with me. And I said, and I'll let them, listen to me. I was done. I said, y'all gonna fire me? I said, but let me tell you what they ain't gonna do. They ain't gonna keep fucking with him. Did y'all hear me, folks?
And
See,
that should be in you. Just probably not for me, but that injustice that
I didn't call Antonio.
Yeah,
I didn't tell Antonio about this. This wasn't about Antonio. It was about what somebody was doing to somebody I love and somebody I care about. And if I sit on the sideline and don't do nothing, I'm a collaborator.
Yeah, fair enough. So the question in the chat is this from years ago or context? It's both. Some people are talking about right now, and Jerome is talking about from years ago. Like it's a few of y'all right now. You know you violating. I don't say nothing, but the people you talk to say, you know, they don't necessarily like what you're doing. So it's both and it's right now, like concurrent events, and then in the future. Let me say this. Now, right now, I'm not looking at the chat, so I have no idea what's going on. But let me say this here. But I will get to the chat. I do try to.
Dr. Ferris, they're not with us no more.
Probably not. But let me say this here. The only people, for context, since this context says, there's plenty of people around Density 6 getting paid. You support people don't. That's different, because the closer you are to the sales, the easier it is to pay you. The further back you are, the harder it is until we get one of these big contracts and we go. Remember that. That's a CEO thing. The closer you are to the fire, to the action, 3 levels down can get paid. Levels 4, 5, and 6 can't, because there's not enough money to go around. There's only 100%. You understand? It's only 100%. If you give a salesperson 30%, and if taxes is taking 15.3%, there you go, right? There's only so much. There's only so much to go around. This is why you want that big old nest egg coming in. But the only people that they're talking about, present and past, that complain are the people who do not take advantage of Antonio Smith, his teachings, and his private lessons. Everybody here has an opportunity with me privately for me to fix your credit, for me to, this happens all the time, for me to fix your credit, for me to get your business together. And some of y'all start and then you stop. And I don't push it, because if you stop on you, I'm not fit to try to start you. That's crazy. Losing has a pathology. I'm not going to do that. If you stop on you, I'm not going to help you get started. Because if you need motivation, you're in the wrong place. You're doing the wrong thing, right? Everybody here, there's people right now who aren't getting paid, but I've already paid them through other means drastically. There's people that because I got credit cards that if you're doing something, I'm going to buy it first. If you got a monthly subscription, I'm going to enroll in it. It's just something that I do because you can't be God's given, and I like to give. I'm like Jerome and Phil and Susan. I'm gonna give first. Dion, I'm gonna be first. Dion may beat me, but I'm right behind him. I'm trying to give. I'm trying to get all my blessings. Right? I'm trying to get all my
Antonio,
blessings. Yes, sir.
two things. Number one, I thought, boy, I can't wait to see the movie of Antonio's life. And I go, movie, that's not long enough. I said, oh, okay. Then I'd like to see a TV series of Antonio's life. Well, they get canceled. What I want to see is the documentary of your life, and then we can have the early years, the lean years, the big years. So I'm looking forward to see the documentary of your lives, plural. And number two, I'm extraterrestrial. I can prove it. I've got 3 nipples. And in June, my senior year, I was 5'1". In September that year, when I went to Ohio State, I was 5'7". I grew 6 inches in 3 months, and I got taller too. But what happened was they came down to check me out when I was in high school, and they say, we forgot something. What did we forget? We forgot puberty. So they snuck down and gave me a shot of puberty so I would catch up. So by the time I went to college, I was 5'7".
Some of y'all didn't get that.
Susan, we praying for you. Susan, we praying for you.
So y'all didn't get that. Anyway, listen, check me out. I'm gonna reduce this. I'm gonna keep staying here because this is obviously what I want to do, but I'm gonna show y'all all the patents that we got pending. Well, sorry, they're not pending yet because they cost like 5,000, 10,000 a piece. But I'm gonna show you all the technology that we're doing. Go ahead, Deanna.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I am gonna stay here.
Okay, so before you move forward, so for us CEOs,
okay.
So first quarter is January to March, second quarter is April to June, third quarter is July to September, and fourth quarter is October to December.
Okay, so remind me to tell you what I'm gonna feel. Remind me to tell you what I'm gonna feel like in October. Remind me. Don't let me forget.
Okay. When does your fiscal, because you have 2 fiscal years, you have your fiscal year, and then you have the generic everybody fiscal year. So when does your fiscal year begin?
These are fantastic questions. I want to let you know that when I answer my stuff, it is not logical, but I will give you math for it. Okay. But it is not logical. It's not logical, but I will give you math for it. Obviously, October 1st starts the fiscal year for most companies, okay, for most companies, or for a lot of companies. I'm not sure if it's most or not, but we know this. That's the beginning of the
Wait.
quarter.
You just confused me. You said October 1st begins
because October,
the fiscal
November,
year?
yes. So Q4 begins the fiscal year. Fiscal, typically, just think of fiscal as like financial, accounting, an accountant, finances, okay? And then every 15th of a quarter, you pay taxes unless you do it all at once. So you got that going on. That's every 15th of a quarter, you pay taxes. So if you're a CEO and you don't know it, every 15th of the quarter, you pay taxes. Just so you know. Just give it to you. It's not just April 15th. It's every 15th of the quarter. But hold on. But before y'all check out, what she just asked is a great question. For me, the fiscal year starts August 1st. For me, okay? Yeah, that's Phil's birthday. For me, reason being is because I have a dream. I'm not there yet. I am not there yet, but it's written down, and maybe I heard me say it once before. You've been following me for a while. I have a dream for the entire company to be paid off the full month of August and paid off the full month of December. For me, the fiscal year is August. For me personally, not for the company, for me personally, because I'm using August to get ready for October. I can't perform in October, Susan, in October. I need some runway. I personally need runway, Pastor Tony. I got to get my thoughts together. I can't just show up in October. Okay, I haven't thought about anything, but here's what we're doing. No, way too strategic for that. So for me, if you're writing down, taking notes, October 1st starts company stuff. Remind me to tell you how I feel about that in a second, Susan. But for Antonio, I'm on the clock. I woke up this morning in meditation, and I fooled around. I looked at my phone and I saw the 30th. I normally don't do that, but I looked at my phone and I saw the 30th. I ain't checking any messages, and I said, "Damn, it's already the 30th." Because in my head, we were supposed to be rolling in McScrooge money and diving in our coins already. Y'all remember the cartoon? You know,
Tails.
yeah, we supposed
Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck. That's right. We supposed to be diving in.
My hero.
I know that's right. We supposed to be diving in and gold coins and stuff. So I'm 30 days behind in my head. Now, I'm using that negative vibration, Jalen, as cognitive dissonance in the correct way. I'm using that to frustrate me for greatness. I'm not using it to be frustrated so I can get a low self-esteem. It's a little bit different because you can use cognitive dissonance to your advantage. They call it pissed off for greatness. You can be pissed off for greatness. And that's what I'm doing. Okay. That's what I'm doing. So this is probably the best question so far. So for me, it's August 1st. I want all the company paid off in December and August every year. Why? Because I just believe, now this is my liberal side coming out. I just believe Americans are overworked. And I watched I don't know if it's a documentary or commercial, but here's how you know if you're overworked. If you sit down on a couch for 5 minutes and just don't do anything, if you fall asleep, you are overworked. And let me tell you something. I can sit down for 5 minutes and instantly, Pastor Tony, I didn't even know I was asleep. Didn't even know I was asleep. This is how you're overworked when you can sit down and calm your mind and fall asleep. Or if you try to meditate and you fall asleep, you're overworked. And America is completely overworked. That's not an opinion. I can draw that from what we call Social Security. It used to be 12 people paying into one person for Social Security. Now it's one person paying into 12 people for Social Security. So I can use those statistics to say that CEOs have not raised employer benefits and income the way CEO salaries have been raised. Now that I can say, and we can statistically say that. Okay, go ahead, Phil.
What if you want to go to sleep and you can't? Are you overworked?
Oh man, you stressed. you add in new elements now. You added stress to that element for sure. All right, so that's me, Deanna. Now, here's what's going to happen to me on October 1st. On October 1st, I'm going to physically realize that it is the fourth quarter, and I am going to insert every cuss word here you can possibly think, because I have said in my head, Q3, we're going to make this work. In fairness, Jerome, I have taken this company in less than 1 year to where no one possible could have done. In fairness, this is facts. This is 100% facts. In fairness, it's 100% facts. But I'm still that elite athlete. I'm only counting gold medals. You know, I'm not, America, I appreciate you. I'm not going to sit up here and get mad and pissed off about this silver. Smile, smile, smile. But internally, I'm killing everybody next year for this gold. I'm not eating nothing. Whatever Susan got on her menu is the only thing I'm eating. Because you know, one burger can make you off the podium over 4 years. Just all it takes is one burger to put you off the podium. So I've got this little internal conflict and competition about myself that come October 1st, if we don't have our first big gig, Pastor Tony, now Pastor Tony's going to hear this. I don't know if Pastor Tony has this huge responsibility. So whenever Pastor Tony, we haven't talked about this, but I've picked it up on him. Whenever Pastor Tony see I need help, he'll just get in my line app and be like, "Hey, I saw this." He'll look at it. He turn it red. He'd be like, "Hey,
just trying to help where I can, standing in the gap."
That's what he'd tell me. Just no explanation, Jerome. I just saw this. Just doing what I can. Just doing what I can. So what happened is, if come October 1st, we're not rolling in any dough, I'm going to be pissed. You won't have to be mad at me. I'm going to be mad at me. I'm going to be mad at me. And then all I want to do is just go back. I'm going to go harder and go do whatever I got to do to crack the code. Which leads me now to this next leadership point. Nobody in this world is smart. Nobody. Everybody is just trying to figure out this law of numbers. There's a 100% success way to do anything. You just have to crack the code of how to do it. Now, this is my mathematical side. My mathematical side understands this very well, so I probably won't explain this. But you literally have to run out of ways to mess up. That's what you have to do. So right now, what we're doing is we're finding all the successful ways not to win. If we keep moving, we're gonna with the written down plan, barring from Think and Grow Rich, which I should be there on Mondays, and then with a definite sense of purpose, again, which you should be there on Mondays. And as you analyze this, Pastor Tony, your movements start getting better, and your success rate starts getting better. This is why quitters never win. Because anybody will win if you don't stop. This is why I get in trouble every time I say this. Last time I said this, some old lady emailed me
until you die.
Until you die. Yeah,
you die.
yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point there. You dead. It's a wrap. It just is what it is, y'all. It just is. There's no collect go. Dion, there's no $200. You just dead. Your race is over though, but you are dead for sure. But you got to keep going. You got to keep going. And the last time I told somebody this, and this old black lady, if I tell y'all, this lady cussed me out in email, and she was a whole but it was y'all know one of them Christian thrashings. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It was one of them Christian thrashings. Oh man, I mean because this is what I said in the keynote. I said, I don't trust people with low confidence. And she was upset. I mean, just, but I explained it well. I said, well, it's not that the confidence is the problem, Susan. It is understanding that you can't be low confident if you keep getting back up. If you
I'm
keep
not understanding
getting,
why she was. Why is she upset? She wouldn't trust a doctor with low confidence if he had to perform surgery on her. What is she talking about?
I wish I would have used that argument. I wish I would have said that, Grace. I will say that next time I say this in the keynote. That was a great one. I'm gonna do brain surgery on you, but I'm not gonna lie, Susan. I'm not really feeling confident about my skills. So give me another surgeon. So that makes sense. No, it's just because I understand that losing will change you. Don't get it twisted. This is why skeptics are pretty happy people, because the lows are and the highs are right, and so they never really go too far. They never really go too far, right? Because they have this even keel about them. So skeptics tend to be more happy than other people. I just understand that the more Dion keeps getting back up, there's more confidence she has in getting back up. And once you mastered how to get back up, your confidence gets sky high. You start saying things like, I don't know what we're going to do. I just know I'm going to do it. So when I meet someone with an insane amount of, right. When I meet someone,
we don't know
but my eyes are on you. Okay. When I meet someone with the same amount of low confidence, I understand that I'm meeting someone with a high probability that they don't finish their task.
Antonio?
Yes, sir.
Think by the time you were 12, how many times you had to get up?
Man, 12 was a terrible year too, Phil. Terrible.
Okay, then 13.
Okay, there you go. You got it better at 13. Yeah, for sure. I felt the sixth grade at 12, and that was terrible. 13, it was back up. 13 was back up for sure. Yeah, you're right. And just to eat every morning was a monumental task. Where my confidence come from? My confidence come from losing. In fact, if you watch the podcast with Dr. Frazier, I'm not talking much because the master's in the room. playing the piano. You just listen. Ain't no sense of you talking. You understand? Ain't no sense of you talking. But I tell them,
Antonio,
yes, ma'am.
It's the quote, and I think it's a song. Get knocked down, but I get up again.
Get knocked down, but I get up again. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And that's really what we're supposed to be teaching our children, how to get back up. Like, can Dr. Ferris teach his daughter when he's not around to get back up? And he's obviously going to do that or is doing that, right? That's the only thing we can really teach our children. We can really teach our children that. Now, get back up with God, get back up with the Bible. That's up to you. But get back up is non-negotiable. That part is non-negotiable. Now, how you get back up? Hey, do whatever you want to do. Go ahead, Phil.
Antonio, isn't that what they teach you in boot camp?
Absolutely. That's why I was such a good soldier. By the time I got there, I was Mr. Discipline. Okay. I wanted to say one more thing. Grace, I told you to come back to something. Well, thank you.
Exclusive content.
Thank you. This is not self-promotion. Here's what's going to happen. I got you, Deanna. Here's what's going to happen. Now, people are already subscribing to this. Doesn't matter to me if you subscribe or not. You should, but it doesn't matter to me. It's just $4.99 or $59 a year, whatever it is. It's on the thing. It's on the thing. By the end of this month, well, by the 15th, that's going to be generating $500 a month. Another 30 days from now, that's going to be at $1,000 a month. So at some point, you're going to have to realize that there's an algorithm to money. It's just a set of instructions. It's not something you have to pray for. It's not. There's not something you have to pray for. You don't have to pray for money. You have to pray to not lean on your understanding about money, but you don't have to pray for money. There's many a times, Jesus, we can't go to the temple, man. We ain't got no money. I tell you what, you're going on out there to that water. Pick that fish up. There's a coin in it. Y'all don't want to act like it's, unless you rip that out, it's there. Okay.
Come on, Pastor.
Right. You don't have to pray for money. It has a set of instructions. So earth is the Lord's and fullness of money. Now you're not going to like this. You're not going to like it. Brace yourself to not like what I'm about to say. Doesn't mean it's not the truth. It doesn't mean it's subjective truth. Money is part of God's making. Okay. Next step. Money is good. Uh-oh. That's in there too. Love of money is not, but money in itself is. Okay. Now watch this here. Money solves all problems. Don't like that, but that's also in there. Wine is for this. This is for that. But Grace, y'all allow me. Allow me.
Okay.
Pull it up for me, Grace.
Okay. While I'm pulling it up, it was a lady. I'm always listening to YouTube, but it was a lady on, and she said she was at a seminar, and the guy he said something that kind of struck her because she was hardcore. She's Christian. And he said, how is money supposed to love me if I don't love it? And I said,
That's right. That's right. But here's the deal.
So
what
does it mean? What does it mean in that scripture when it
I got
says,
you. I'm about to press my point.
Okay.
I'm about to press my point. Just before bread is made for laughter, wine gladdens the life, and money answers everything. That's scripture, and that's Ecclesiastes
10:19.
10:19. Now wait a minute, because I know you're gonna say, I said, brace yourself. You're not going to like this. Here's why you're not gonna like this. Because your brain is saying, well, if it was that easy, I would have it. This is why you don't like it. It's not that it's not the truth. Your brain doesn't like that it's being told you messing this up. Your brain don't like that. That's what's happening to you. It's called cognitive dissonance. But everything I have quoted so far has been scriptures, just paraphrased. I swear to God to you, I have not been outside the text. I have not. I swear to you, I have not. Go deeper about money. Money is just a relationship with God. You got a whole thing about it. I know it. You're smart. You disagree. I get it. I get you're smart. I get you disagree. Just know I have not inserted a single opinion. Here's the deal. I get it. I can feel your disagreement. That's because you're wired to disagree. Just hear me out for one single moment. Not only does your Jesus talk about money a lot more than salvation. That's not my point here. It's a setup to a point. Money is simply an agent being used as a medium of exchange or a storehouse of wealth. That's it. That's it. It is not supposed to, you're not about to like this. It is not supposed to make you feel the way it does. I'm going further, Pastor Tony. I can see I'm not even looking at the chats. I know they fit the light up. Just listen. When money makes you feel bad, when money makes you feel good, money has a lot of power that your Lord is currently not in. I hear you. I'll do it again. I know you disagree, especially Dr. Ferris. I'm not even looking. I know he's disagreeing. Listen.
I do.
I know you do. Listen. Money is not supposed to alter your chemical state. It's just not. Think about that for a moment. You're supposed to, if you can't, I told a preacher this one time. This preacher, we talk about tithes. Y'all not gonna like that either. We're talking about tithes. Okay, you're not gonna like that either. This preacher he never paid tithes. And he wondered why I wouldn't let him preach. He's like, well, this is just it. We under grace. And I said, listen, I don't care about your theology about it. I want to ask you a question. What is tithes? Well, he gave me the good, but it's this. I said, I hear you, but let's simplify it more. Now, what I'm about to say, it's about to be so non-disagreeable, but you still don't disagree. I said, what is tithes? And I kept going until we got to the simplicity of it. Is tithes letting go of your money? You say, yeah. And then when you let go of your money, can someone guess the next thing? If you let go of your money, what are you doing? What do you, as far as your relationship with God goes, what are you doing? Let's see if somebody say the right word.
Sowing a seed.
Sowing a seed. And what does sowing the seed mean? Your sowing the seed is something.
To me, it's
okay.
trusting.
Trust. That's what I was looking for. Trust. When you let go of your money, you're trusting something outside of you to bring it back in multiplication. Is this non-disagreeable? It's like, that's what the topic, right? Okay. I'm letting it go. Like, you can take it out of money. Because if I let go of watermelon seed, I'm trusting the ground to give it back to me in more multiplication. See how easy that was to accept, but when you put money in, it's not. Now watch this here. So I told him, I said, Reverend, what you gonna preach about? I'm not letting you preach because you don't trust God and you don't let go of yourself. What you gonna preach about? Like, What you gonna preach about? Yeah, I missed it. That's okay. Like, what you gonna preach about? Every scripture is let go of yourself, Pastor Tony, and trust God. What you gonna preach about? What you gonna preach about? So no. So we had to get him straight. Now, disagreements aside, I get it. I'm not mad at you for disagreeing. I'm not. That's not my thing. I will ask you this though. How is your understanding of money working out for you? Money should not alter your mood. If I can give you anything, don't let money have so much power that it alters your mood and makes you forget that God is also in that mood. That whatever you're going through, God is still the God of going through. And that's what money will do. If you're not careful, money will make you feel. It's the truth. Money will separate you if you're not careful. It will make you think more about if you're thinking more about mathematically, if you spend more time at work than you spend at church or in a mosque, and if you know God is all knowing, then mathematically, God always wanted Jerome to do ministry at work. But you wait to cut on ministry 2 hours a week at church.
Again, watch yourself.
But you spend 60 hours a week at work. God completely cut off. You think about GMC and BMW and Bank of America, and all your conversations at the water cooler are about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and all this stuff. And yet none of these conversations had anything to do with your living faith. Well, excuse me. They all had something to do with your living faith, but with your practice faith. See, I'm so conservative, I sound liberal. I just don't have any philosophies inside the sacred text. So it makes me sound liberal. Money should not be altering your mood. It shouldn't. And the moment you just try what I'm saying for 30 days. Because if money is altering your mood, guess who's understanding you leaning on? Because it's showing God.
Watch yourself, right?
It's you. I serve the master of a cattle of 1,000 hills. Really? But you stressed. If money is altering your mood, your foundation when it comes to money is not rooted in God, but your own understanding. I know you disagree. Anyway,
Bruh. Okay. Real quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. My dad talked to me a month ago. He said, Grace, you ain't worried about nothing. I said, no, Dad, I just, I just know everything gonna turn out all right. He said, okay, yeah, because I was, just praying to the Lord, and he came back and told me, he said, I'm gonna take care of Grace. I said, yeah, you got this feeling so that all right. So, I can tell you what Ed said, but yeah, because I have a sibling, and he said that about you. He didn't say that about your sibling. I said, oh. Not saying that he ain't gonna take care.
I understand.
But I was like, yeah, Dad. I mean, I stopped doing that a long time ago because it wasn't doing anything but making me spaz out and stress and not be unhealthy. And it's like now I just there you go. I just gotta keep going.
Okay. It's so much to say here, but let me back up. I'm about to share my screen. Let me just back up a little bit. All I actually did was quote scriptures. I didn't do anything else. Now, you can pin me by saying that I took scriptures out of context, that would be fine. Even though I did not, that would be fine, because it's not like I was doing a theological study or something. So anything could be out of context. You can tell me that I saw one in the chat yesterday. I mean, last week I saw in the chat. That's hardly definitive. I saw that in the chat last week. You can tell me it's hardly definitive. That's not an argument, though. That's a hot one-liner that politicians are really good at. It's not an argument. But you would genuinely be arguing against all I said was, God is too good for you to be stressed out about money. That's what I said. I didn't speak unclearly. That's what I said. All I did was quote scriptures and say that if you're stressed out about money, you're leaning on your understanding, not God's. That's all I said. And that is what you would be arguing against. And I promise you, I'll show you just so we're clear. I'm gonna show you. I don't want nobody. Y'all heard that? Doop doop. Did you hear that? Did you? Okay. I don't want nobody to say Antonio's lying. Something. I'm going to I just took a screenshot because I have a Mac. I'm taking a picture of what I just screenshotted. Right here, you see William sent me a private message, and it says I got 20 messages I have not checked. My conversation is not steered by the comments. Can we see that? Can you see it here? I have not scrolled down to see 20 messages. I have not. So just so we're clear, I'm only telling you that God is good, and we should not let money make us forget for a moment that God is good. And by chance, if you do, Dion, no worries, because his grace is sufficient, and his strength is made perfect in your weakness. So you should find that weakness. Pastor Tony, am I doing all right? Because I thought okay. You should find that weakness of you and allow the Holy Spirit to make that perfect, so you could be strong where you're weak when it comes to money. Because as for me and the way I think, I just expect. I don't believe. I don't ask. I don't ask God for money. I don't believe God for money. I expect God is giving me money. I expect God to make these contracts to come through. I just expect. Not because I'm arrogant, because I know for sure God ain't out here with a problem going, I'm going to teach him a lesson. I ain't going to do nothing he said. I just expect that the God I believe in, Pastor Tony, wants me to take care of y'all. And that is comforting to me, Susan, and it just keeps showing up. I could take the other opposite end. I could struggle, and then y'all go, never, you shouldn't believe me. You shouldn't believe me. You're just going to sit here and struggle. I'm wasting your time. I'm wasting your life, okay? But anyway, I'm going to say two more things about this. Two more things, because there's a lot of resistance in this area. Notice I didn't give you any scientific thoughts. I didn't even try to be a theologian. I didn't give you any scientific thoughts. I didn't quote any field of science. Now, I must tell you that while science is hardly definitive, to borrow from that comment again from last week, theology is hardly definitive. You can say that about anything. You can say that about Walmart. You can say it about my beard, period. I just believe God is good. And I know that somebody can disagree with me, Pastor Tony, and I honor their disagreement. But I sure keep believing God is good, Jerome. I'm trying to teach y'all something. I'm trying to teach y'all something. I don't care whatever lies before me and all this obstacles, Susan. I don't care about how I'm not supposed to be able to do what I'm supposed to do, right? They got that cliche saying, bumblebees ain't supposed to fly, but ain't nobody told the bumblebee, right? You've heard that before. I don't care anything about what I'm not supposed to be able to do, Pastor Tony. I only care that my motives are aligned with God. And the book says, to borrow from Jerome, that as long as my motives are aligned with God, I ain't got nothing to worry about. Which leads me now to the second point. Now, this is religious, y'all. Everything else I've said has not been. This is 100% religious. You will not get what I'm going to say, because a big chunk of theology is you got to catch it. You understand? Oh, yeah. The theology crosses a line to where it stops being concrete, and you got to catch it by faith. Who know what I'm talking about? Like you have to, we say Christianity is a revealed religion, right? It has a revelation. Same with the Quran, revelation. So here's the deal. What I'm about to say, if you do not have faith in one God, I'm not going to make sense to you. This is not rooted in facts, Pastor Tony. It's rooted in faith and human experience. Is that okay? So the first thing I just said, Ina, was I just expect God to do these great things. It just is what it is. I don't care what's in front of me. I don't care what's in front of me. I can have COVID. I don't care. Whatever's in front of me ain't the God of me. That's what I said. Did I make that clear, Jerome? Because that's what I've been saying. You disagree with that. You just disagree. Okay. So that sets up my second point, Ina. This does not make sense, but it does to me. God has never let anybody down who believes in him, ever. Ever. That ain't for everybody, Jerome. Everybody ain't gonna catch that. I shouldn't even say him, because Muslims don't speak that way. God has never let anybody down who believes in God. Believe and do not doubt. Just 100%. I'm telling you, I've seen it thousands of times. I've seen handicapped people can't cut their grass, and I've seen the church show up for free and cut their grass once a week. I've seen it. I have seen it. I've seen to where this lady, car broke down and she couldn't get her kids to school, and I seen two men in the men's ministry say, I got two cars sitting out back. I don't know how to fix them. Anybody here know how to fix them? And I seen the mechanic say, I know how to fix it. And I seen one dude say, well, I don't know how to do none of that, but I got the money to get the parts. And I seen this lady take her kids to school by Wednesday. And that was that was a Tuesday. I've seen it. I've seen the good. I've seen the evil of men in war. I've seen the evil of men in war. And I've seen the goodness of men in faith. And I am telling you, if you believe and do not doubt, Semigoa, you will come to this country and you will be the greatest trillionaire CEO or whatever it is that you desire. And there is not a white or a black or a Jew or a Gentile that will stand against you. It just is what it is. If y'all want something great, I'm going to show you. Right now, I was going to go through this in great detail. We'll do it next time. Which this is for density 6 solar. This is 270 patents that I have to do just for this one company. Just for this one company. AI-driven autonomous tree planting systems. You didn't even know I'm doing that. Quantum dot enhanced perovskite photovoltaic paint. You don't even know what that is. I'll stop right there. Wait a minute. That's 237 patents. Plus, here are the 21 different patents that I have to do for Burn Chat. 21. from the sentient AI interface. And let me tell you something, and I'm ending. I am too Black in America to even think I should be able to do that if I let all the other forces become my God. I'm going somewhere. Let's keep going. Not to mention, each one of them patents going to cost me $10,000 to $15,000 a piece. I don't know what 15,000 times 270 is. It's a lot of money. Whatever it is. And I know, Susan, I don't need to know what it is. I know they're going to charge me for it, whether I know what it is or not. You understand what I'm saying? I know that much. And if I lean to my own understanding, see where I've been going the whole time, Jerome? If I see this whole time, if I lean to my own understanding, Pastor Tony, that, man, I can't afford that. Guess what? I ain't gonna be able to afford it. But if I just be stupid and say, God, I don't know what to do. Pull that scripture up, Grace, just so they know I'm not out here making stuff up. It's in Chronicles, by the way. Oh no, we don't know what to do. I might, you know what, Grace? I might have to wrench that off. I might have to bite on that text for a little bit because it keeps coming up. She gonna show it to you while I'm talking. You have to be, you need faith. This is my last words. Well, it's gonna take a while, but then gonna take too long. You need faith in two places. I told Deanna this, it changed her life. I'm gonna tell it to y'all. You need faith in two places. You only need faith twice. Deanna, tell us what we need faith, because I taught it to you.
You need faith to get started, and you need faith to keep going.
There you go. Thank you so much. You need faith to get started, and you need faith to keep going. If you listen to me, I'm going to change your life for me. I swear to God, I am. I promise you I am. You only need faith in two places. Right there in the text. That's Chronicles, which was first or second, Grace. I can't remember if it's first or second. I know it's 20. Second Chronicles, 20th chapter, verse 12. Oh my God. Will you not execute judgment on them? For we are powerless against this great horde of credit card bill and mortgages coming against us. Yeah, y'all don't have hordes of enemies and chariots coming against you. What you have is great hordes of credit card debt coming against you. Can I get a witness? Do you understand? You got that great horde of mortgage coming against you. And then it says, Pastor Tony, we do not know what to do, but our eyes are on you. Stop the screen, Grace, before I start preaching. What a great text that is, Susan. Somebody's like, I didn't even know that was in the Bible. I understand. They just put it in the Bible yesterday. They just snuck it in there for you. They just snuck it in there. You need faith in two places. Let me press this. This is my last point I'm pressing. You need faith to get started, faith to keep going. I already started Density 6. And here's the deal. Before I started it, Jerome, the devil came against me. You can't do that. Tech, man, just stick to what you know. You can't do it. Ain't nobody else in the world doing what you're trying to do. Who gonna teach it to you? You ain't got no mentor in the tech. You ain't got nothing you could do, right? And so I had to not listen to that common sense. See, this y'all problem. Y'all too smart. I had to be dumb to get started. I want you to hear this. In order to start something God wants you to do, you need to be dumb. In order to finish something God wants you to do, you need to be smart. I will explain. You got to be dumb enough to get started, smart enough to keep going. Allow me to explain. You only need faith in two areas. You need faith to get started. And when you get started, Jerome, you're going to know every reason why you shouldn't. And when it's time to quit, you're going to know every reason why you should. This is what it is. So in order for me to explain this greatly, I'll bring up a great character that I like. His name is Daniel. Pastor Tony sees where I'm going. Daniel was in the first wave of deportation. Now, this is what that's, see, I'm about to get in trouble, even though I'm about to spit all facts. 605 BC. I got no notes in front of me. I ain't got nothing in front of me. This is, my memory is just incredible. 605 BC. The Babylonian Empire took Daniel and his friends all the way over to a land that wasn't his. Approximately, and you can look this up yourself, 525 miles away from his homeland. Let me keep going. My story means I'm ending. And Daniel is in captivity, slavery, for stuff he ain't do. Because the truth is, if you read the text, 70 years, David is 16, 17 years old. God ain't mad at his 16 years of sinning. Come on, help me out, Pastor Tony. He mad at these grown folks. He mad at their grandpa and all this stuff. Then you just caught up in what folk that came before him did. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part. Daniel, go, if you hear me, well, you at Amir, forget them. Just me and you talking. Don't you let nobody else. Just me and you. You hear me? Just me and you. Okay? Just me and you. Daniel prays and some haters with titles, government titles, say, tell you what, King, won't you write this down? That can't nobody pray unless it's to you, because you God, which is typical for a king to be God on earth, because that's the way it worked. That's just the way it worked. Okay? Now, watch this here. The king was not allowed to break his word because God can't break God's word. So if the king wrote something, then only a human would not do what they say. But the king is not human. The king is God, and you peasants will worship me. And Daniel went to his room and prayed. And they caught him. Got him. We got him now, y'all. You ain't got to get him. And if you read that text, Susan, it clearly says, and the king was like, oh my goodness. God, Daniel. Oh my goodness. But I want to show you what happened in the text, and I want to give you extra biblical language that's part of the culture, because I specialize at Jewish culture and traditions. Here's what happened. Daniel opened up his little thingamabobby. Now, you don't have to piece this together because we know it's 605 BC-ish, and we know that the temple falls in 586, and we know Daniel's part of the first wave of deportation. This is uncontestational. We have extra biblical literature to prove these dates. Okay. Extra biblical literature means when your enemy write about it, it's probably true. You get it? That's okay. All right. So Daniel prays because the temple is still standing. Put a pin in that. We're coming back to it. Daniel, 525 miles away from the temple. But to be a Jew, three things are true. Your blessings come from the temple. Your forgiveness comes from the temple. And all of God's most holy, powerful presence is felt best at the temple. This is why they have a whole civil meltdown in the New Testament in what you call the intertestamental period of silence, but they're not silent at all. It's because how do you be a Jew without a temple is what they were dealing with. This is where the Pharisees come in at. This is where the Essenes come in at. This is where the Sadducees come in at. But back now to 4th century here BC, 5th century here BC. No, 7th century BC, because we in 605 BC. Jerome, check this out. The temple's still standing, but Daniel can't see it. Let me tell you about faith. You need faith twice to get started and to keep going. Daniel know he about to die. So Daniel do the only thing he can do, semi-goal. He cannot see what God is doing. He cannot see God too far away, 525 miles to be exact. But Daniel can remember from where his blessings came. Did you see me set that up? I set it up real good. So what Daniel does, the text says this, Susan, he opens the window. And it gives a specific window. Tell him, Pastor Tony, so they don't think I'm lying. Tell him, Pastor Tony, so they don't think I'm lying.
Towards the temple.
Towards the temple. And just because I can't see my temple, don't mean I don't remember how good it is turning around on you. And I wish I had somebody on this call that say, Lord, I don't know how you're going to bless me. I can't figure out how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it. I can't even see how I'm going to finish density 6. I cannot see how these contracts going to get, but you blessed me before. And I know you can do it again. And if I have to stare off and just remember the last time you've been good to me, I'll capture that energy and I'll pray to that energy. And here's how that story ended. King puts him in lion's den. Forget what happens. But then the king say, he go check on Daniel. Dan, you there? That don't make no damn sense. You put this man in the lion's den. You ain't fed these lions in 2 months. It ain't 2 months, but you get the point, though. These lions is hungry. The text says, Daniel, you there? Now, here's the deal. Muslims share this text. Jews share this text. And Christians share this text. This is why I love the Torah. I love it very much for this very reason. Daniel, faith was so strong, Chris, that it took what was supposed to kill him and made it his pillows. The text does not say Daniel stressed all night. The text strongly implies Daniel got some rest. I know your debt's supposed to kill you, MP. But when you got faith that says, we will not bow, because my God gonna save us. If not, my God's still gonna look out for us. You ain't got to bow. Y'all out here thinking I'm blessed because I'm smart. You're missing that I'm blessed because I'm heart. That's what you're missing. You're missing my integrity keeps me blessed. My integrity keeps me with money, not my business moves. The fact that I'm the same with Pastor Tony as I am with Dion, as I am with Dr. Ferris, it is what it is. I ain't changing no time soon. The fact that Pastor Tony gave $400 to the creation of the video game like 4 months ago, but that did plans and work out. I had already contacted Todd, say, hey, Todd, you want to do this video game? He told me last week, sure do. I got to get with him. He's been busy. I just took that same $400 that Pastor Tony bought. Todd gonna use it now. I could have just killed the whole plan, but the integrity say that's God's money. And you don't play with God's money.
You did the same thing to me, Antonio.
I did the same thing.
You wouldn't let me touch it.
I wouldn't let you touch it. You hear me? So now Todd is gonna be in charge, and I'm gonna hook Todd. Todd don't have. I hired Todd. Todd ain't got no degree. I don't think Todd ever graduated high school. Todd completely self-taught. And I said, I like it. I like it a lot. And now he's going to do it. Grace, give me 5 minutes. Your job is to have so much faith that your lions become your pillows. And you need faith twice to get started and to keep going. You're either in the I'm about to get started phase, or you're in the I need to keep going phase. Now, let me talk to everybody with credit card debt right now. I want to talk to everybody whose money is low. I want to talk to every single person right now for the last 5 minutes who is saying, I got faith. I just don't have money. Let me help you for a moment. I said this last week. Y'all didn't like it. 2 things are true. Your character is jacked up and you ain't gonna get it. You can't prove that, Antonio. Grace, do me a favor. If you can pull up 1 James chapter 4. It's a Catholic epistle. You Protestants don't like reading Catholic epistles. Luckily for me, this little noogle or noggin up here with a little noodle of mine. If you can pull up James chapter 4, I'd sure appreciate it. Because last week I said, your character out of jacked up, you ain't gonna get it. Or calm down, Antonio. Me. What causes quarrels? You know, Grace, put this in message version. Put this in message version. I want everybody to understand it. Here's the deal. Ena, don't take this as no Bible. Take this as a bunch of ancestors wrote some stuff down that you need to listen to. Watch this here. Where do you think all these appalling wars and quarrels are coming from? Do you think they just happen, Antonio? Think again. They come about because you want your own way, Antonio. And fight for it deep inside yourselves, Antonio. You lust for what you want. You lust for what you don't have and are willing to kill to get it. That's why you send them bad text messages, Antonio. You want what isn't yours and will risk violence to get your hands on it, Antonio. You wouldn't think of just asking God for it, now would you, Antonio? And why not? Because you know you'd be asking for what you have no right to, Antonio. I'm going to ask Antonio for what I'm deserved for density 6, and I don't even do nothing, Antonio. You're spoiled children, Antonio. Each wanting your own way, Antonio. Scroll up a little bit, Grace. You cheating on God, Antonio. If all you want is your own way, flirting with the world every chance you get, and you end up in enemies and God on your own side, and you do you suppose that God doesn't care? All right, put it back at ESV, Grace. Watch this here now. ESV, very accurate. It says you have not because you ask not. But even when you do ask, watch it. Watch it. Go to verse 3, Grace. You ask and you do not receive because you asked wrongly, Ena. To spend it on your passions, Antonio. You adulterous people. Do you not have friendship in this world with enmity and God? Blah, 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 blah. Stop. You stop screen, Grace. I'm going to give it to you if you ask for it, but the reason I don't give it to you is because your motives are incorrect. So when I said that last week, I was a heretic. This week, let's focus on the other side. You need faith twice to keep going. Faith, get started, faith to keep going. Here's the other side, Pastor Tony. Calm down. Because God is not finished with you yet. Because even if you were an insignificant mule that can't even reproduce, trash, you got no purpose, you're too small to carry a load, and you can't even make money off your Susan because you can't even reproduce. If you don't know it, mules, donkeys cannot reproduce. Insignificant in value. Yet Jesus goes, Pastor Tony, going on over there now. And when them people ask you, what you doing? Take this donkey and say the Lord has need of it. You should be glad that in God's narrative, God is consistently including insignificant people like me in that wonderful story of his. Last example. Did you catch that example I just gave? That donkey was insignificant, but we talk about it every Easter, don't we, Pastor Tony? Every Easter, it come back up. Thousands of years, Susan. And I sure hope insignificant me could be part of a great story. Calm down. It's coming. Last example. The truth is, on the 8th day, all male children were supposed to shed blood. We call it circumcision. You can find the evidence. I got nothing in front of me. You can find the evidence of this Abrahamic covenant in Genesis chapter 12, verses 1, 2, and 3. The sign of the Abrahamic covenant is in Genesis chapter 10, verses 7 through 10. And you can see it repeated again in Genesis 17. This is coming from this dome. And all children on the 8th day supposed to shed blood at the temple. Just about. So when you see in Luke, the old man is waiting to see the Messiah. If I step out of line, somebody let me know. But of course the Messiah had to go, because the Messiah had to follow the Abrahamic covenant and show the sign of the covenant. And on the 8th day, the first blood that Jesus shed was not on the cross, but was from circumcision. Remember that. Let's now fulfill circumcision. John chapter 20. And on that same day in the evening, the Jews are locked in the room for fear of other Jews. And he entered in and said, "Peace be unto you." I'm doing way too much right now. Peace be unto you. But one of them was missing. Thomas, Didymus by name, was missing. One was dead, Judas. The other was missing. A few verses go by. And then here comes Didymus, Thomas. And the text specifically says, and on the 8th day, look at this fulfillment of circumcision. This is typology. That's not allegory. Allegory is like this vertical reading of the text. Like if Jesus spoke away the storm, he could speak away your credit card bills. That's not what I'm doing. This is typology. This is a conservative reading of the text from left to right that leaves no room for interpretation. This is what Paul does with the fulfillment. Okay, now watch this here. On the 8th day. Why the 8th day? Why the 8th day, Pastor Tony, did Jesus come back for Thomas? Because Thomas was in his flesh, just like Antonio would have been. Because you can't tell me Jerome that came back to life. The hell is you smoking? That ain't how life work. Get out of here, Susan. You done ate some of them bad greens. Yeah, and there's wrong mushrooms you ate, Susan. You ate some psychedelics. Pastor Tony ain't back. That ain't how science work. Y'all know how science Antonio is, right? Science don't work like that, Susan. And I would have gave Susan a scientific argument for 7 days of how wrong she is. But on the 8th day, put your hands where my hands at. Put it right here. And I love Thomas' response. My Lord, my God. Here's my point. Aren't you glad that if you were the last person on earth, Renee, because Jesus was busy, he had 40 days with a 10-day layover. That's where we get this Pentecost idea from. 40 days, Renee. But he came back for you, not because you were full of faith, but because you were faithless. So I'm here to tell everybody here. Now, I don't know how this call got there for, but it got here. So it is what it is. You're gonna eat it today. If you keep going, God will show up to you, not because you're full of faith. Not only because every example I just gave had nothing to do with faith. The Daniel had something to do with faith. These other ones didn't. This had something to do with not faith. The absence of faith. And aren't you glad, MP, that you serve a God that would do right by you when you're acting like Daniel, but do right by you when you're acting like Thomas. So choose your position in this company today. You're Daniel or Thomas, and neither one of these are an indictment or a punishment, because God ain't mad at Daniel and God ain't mad at Thomas. And everybody here is safe and secure. You're under no threat to be fired. And just know that whatever state you find yourself in, God will show up to this company, Semigold, and you will be blessed. The faith and the faithless will be blessed all the same, because it rains on the just and unjust. And if you got a disagreement with me, the only thing I said, I only got 5 more words, Jerome. God is good, too good for us to be stressed out over money. That's all I said. You can plan better. You can dominate. Love you, everybody. It's
Love you
Phil's fault.
more.
The whole
Love
call
you,
is
boy.
Phil's fault.
Love you more.
Antonio, can you stay on? I have a question.
Sure. If you got to go, you can go, and I will stay here. Yes, ma'am. And 44 minutes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm going backwards.
I came here to work.
Okay, so if I consider the first quarter of my fiscal year the third quarter, I set myself up to start the fourth quarter, which would actually like be the first quarter of the actual fiscal year, if that makes sense.
Right. So in your particular case, start August 1st, which now you're 30 days behind. So you have September. So you got to do 2 months worth of work.
Okay.
And your company will start October 1st. So that means that you need to have your 2025 goals, full goals.
By
You need
the
to have
end
your
of September.
Nope, because you got to revise them. So you need to have your 2025 goals done by September 15th. No, let's do September 10th. September 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a 2-day brain break.
Mm-hmm.
And on the 13th to the 25th, you have to see if you still like those goals, because God will send you new information, new videos to watch not by accident, by divine accident, right? You're getting new information. Pastor Tony will say something to you, Phil will say something to you. You read something in the Think and Grow Rich class with Phil and Susan, be like, oh man, I didn't think about this, right? It'll just come because you wrote it down. Think and Grow Rich, borrowing again from it, Phil, because you wrote a definite plan, you had a definite purpose, and then now the way will start being shown to you. So on the whatever days I said, on the 14th, or 13th through the
13th through the 25th.
13th to the 25th, you're going to revise those. And once they in, you're locking them in. And on the 26th through the 31st, you're going into preparation mode. Mm-hmm. You're starting to execute on all those because you launched whatever you wrote down on the first. Those last 5 days are for pure getting the resources, obtaining the resources, obtaining the classes, the certificate, whatever you got to do, making the plan to get the money, listening to Phil and Susan on Monday, like whatever you got to do, that's execution time. You're no longer planning. I cannot stress this enough, because a lot of y'all will get ready to get ready and never be ready. Because on October 1st, you have one thing in mind: move before you are ready. Write that down. October 1st, you're going to move before you're ready. Any preparation she should have did, Dion? No, she shouldn't have. She right where she's supposed to be. Move. Now for next year, you're going to take the same process, but you got a month for each. You start in August and you revise in September. But since you're starting 30 days late, we cut your months in half.
Gotcha.
I've been doing this every year. I might be able to find you some of this in real time as we talking. I do this every single year. Oh no, wrong one. I do this. I've been doing this. I can't even tell you how long I've been doing this. I've been doing it for a long time.
Wait, real quick. You
No,
said
go ahead.
August. So next year, August is when I do the writing down and the revisions. In September is when I do the execution so I can launch for October.
Right. Look at this here. These are my goals from 2019. I wrote this down April 23rd, 2019. And I must have updated it. And this was the goals at that time, right? This was the goals. And I pretty much accomplished everything on this. And let me see. If I can, I'm sure I can keep going because CFTU stands for Church Fund Church, but I'm sure I can keep going. I've been doing this since 2012. And now they typically be real long, though. They typically be real long. That was an abbreviated version. Let me see real quick. Antonio goals. And I bet you I can find them. I bet you I can find some because they're in here. I live and breathe and die by my notes, but for sure. So what you want to do, I'm sure they're in Antonio goals somewhere here because they're in a different folder that I don't use anymore. They're in the without an umbrella folder or something. I don't use it anymore. But anyway, you get the point though. Okay, you get the point. They're in there. Okay, ask me this question. I've got everybody here because they want to be here. You go ahead, Phil.
Two questions. You said God always takes care of the just or something like that.
The just or the unjust.
Yeah, I was going to say, or the unjust. He takes care of the unjust too.
Yep.
Second thing is, this is right out of Think and Grow Rich. The method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into financial equivalent consists of 6 definite practical steps. First, fix your mind on the exact amount of money you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. Be definite as the amount. There is a psychological reason for the definiteness which will be described in the subsequent chapter. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire, for there is no such thing as something for nothing. 3, establish a definite date in which you intend to possess the money you desire. 4, create a definite plan for carrying out your desires and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put that plan into action. 5, write out a clear, concise statement of what the amount of money you intended to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition, state what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan for which you intend to accumulate it. 6, read your written statement out loud twice a day, once just before retiring at night, and once when arising in the morning. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money.
You get it? I'm almost positive, Phil, that I start doing this in the spirit of Think and Grow Rich. I'm almost positive. I'm like 99% positive because that's the only reason I would have wrote anything down and been doing it for this long. I discovered Think and Grow Rich in 2012. I had no idea of its existence. No idea of its existence. I discovered Think and Grow Rich and The Secret at the same year. I had no idea of either one of those things existed. Actually, when somebody told me, have you seen The Secret? I thought they were pitching me a network marketing opportunity. I really did. They was like, well, go check it out and tell me what you think. And I was like, oh, Lord. There we go with one of those things. But since it was somebody that I trust, I was like, and that rocked my world for sure. Everything that I knew. I had no idea other people were talking about it. I had no idea for sure. Deanna, keep going. They here because they want to be here. I'm not. You're not in a rush.
No, I got it. I got what I need now because now I am putting it in the calendar. So every year I know this is the day we start the new plan for the next fiscal year. This is the day we do the execution for the fiscal year. This is the day we launch. So that's what I needed to know. So again, I'm running parallel to you. I'm behind you, but I'm parallel to you. So everything I'm building is my version of what you're building, and you're always ahead, and I want to always be ahead. So that's why I was asking, because this is not the first time that you talked about when your fiscal year begins.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a bunch of things that I want to address. For one, this idea of behind, keep it. Don't I don't want to spiritually, because it's a good motivation. Okay? Think if you want to think you're behind because your motivation your vibration wasn't bad about it. If you want to think you're behind, then you need to use me as emulation. Emulation. There's a law called the law of emulation. If you don't know what to do, study someone successful and do what they're doing, because it puts you in harmony of the laws of success. So use me as emulation. Number one. You say I'm always ahead. I'm not just always ahead. I intentionally plan it to always be ahead and to always be ahead of y'all because I'm insanely competitive. It has nothing to do with that I don't think you can't do something. It has everything to do with my idea of math. If I know you're working 40 hours a week, then I'm going to work 140 hours a week because I want to be 3 times ahead of you. This means, but here's how this works. So by the time you finish 1 month, I finish 4. So density 6 is moving so fast. It's because every month is 4 months to me, Dion. And if you think about it, it seems that way, Susan. Like, it seems that way. Wait until we own these patents. Then that's just a whole different set of income, Susan. That's just like, hey, you just pay Phil and Susan. Pay us our golden parachute money. Go ahead and do that. Pay us our money. Be ahead, do that. Let me just add one more thing to all of y'all. I don't really set goals. This is something that's real hidden about me. I set defining moments. Just mean my goals are so big that they're not goals, they're defining moments. So here's how it happens. So I'll hit 10 goals attempting to get to this defining moment. So let's say my defining moment is to invent quantum internet, which is one of them, which 100%, I'm going to show y'all, like 100%, if you come to density 6, and then you go to density 6 structure, and then, nope, future tech. If you come D6 right here, D60 done. I haven't updated this since January 22nd, 2024. In fact, hold on. I got you. I'm going to share it a little bit bigger. So give me a second. Just hopefully a little bit bigger. Hopefully. It's still small, but just hopefully. Okay. And then what I'll do is I will just up. Bam. And then I'll just, there we go. Okay. Should be a lot better now. I mean, it should be at least better. I don't know if it's a lot better, but it should be better.
It is.
So y'all have no idea that I have us working on rule-based AI, which we already have out in the world, contextual AI, narrow domain AI, and reasoning AI. So right now, ChatGPT is all of these. Everybody's working on artificial general intelligence. OpenAI is going to probably get there first. They have more money than us. So I have us working on all these right now. Y'all have no idea that I am calling the future of this company and my plan Zero Dawn, to where we're working on super intelligent AI, self-aware AI, transcendent AI, cosmic AI, and godlike AI. And I got 50 different applications for this. I'll just pick number 15 randomly. We are going to be using quantum computing and quantum AI to combat climate change. I don't even know what Susan, I have no idea. Strengthen national cybersecurity and all sorts of stuff. Like, there's so much here. And look, then I got a full plan. This is what I'm doing. And then, hold on, what's up, baby? Open the door and see. It is thundering though. It is thundering out there. Yeah, the top lock is. That's okay. I'll get you. I'll get you. Here, come stand next to me real quick. All right, she's scared. It's thundering outside, y'all. Okay, we'll go look outside together. Okay. Okay, give me a second. It's thundering out there pretty good. Point is, all this stuff here I'm working on. Now, here's why I bring it up, Deanna, because the reason I bring this up is because I don't know how to do that. Don't nobody know how to do that. But those are defining moments. that I got to hit 1,000 different goals, Pastor Tony, just to pull it off. At least 1,000 per bullet point. This is why I don't set goals, because goals are too small for my way of thinking. I like stuff so big that, right, it makes me do this other stuff. Somebody's going to say something. I think it was Otis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That self-actualization AI, that's mind-blowing. I never really used that word, but it is just, hey, I know who I am and I know what's going on. Now let me operate within. There's a lot of application for that.
A lot of applications for that. Now, what if we figured out how to do it? And I don't mean we as humans, Susan. I mean we as humanity. I mean we as density 6.
I can see that as exploring other planets within our solar system.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Phil, and I'm gonna show y'all one trick I do that I'm gonna give to you for free, and then I'm done. I swear to God, I'm done. Let's ask a question. Go ahead, Phil.
To help us with the path, you say you don't set goals because you don't limit yourself. Was there a time beforehand that you did set them that had you grow into this position?
Oh yeah,
for us,
sure.
For us that aren't there right now.
Yeah.
We was wondering, how did you do it before you became like that?
Yeah. So that's a great question. It was absolutely a time. It was at least my entire 20s and beyond, because I only had a model of what everybody told me to do. So 2 answers there. What woke me up from that is I kept going, but I keep trying to do these white things with my black face, and it kept failing. It kept failing. So I was like, okay, I can't do that. So I got to figure out my way to do things. That's what made me grow into this. But what I used to do is I used to write down a lot of goals, and I recognized my self-esteem would show up in those goals. So I would write down a bunch of goals that I can accomplish real quick, Susan, just so I can accomplish. They meant nothing, but crossing them off my list was like a victory. But the truth is I was moving nowhere. I was confusing movement with progress.
Yeah, a lot of times when we're working with a client, instead of having a to-do list, have a to-done list.
That's good.
Have a list of things that you got done, not things that you have to do. You figure out what to do once you give you credit once you get it done.
That's real good. That's life-changing, right? That's life-changing. That is real good. Yeah.
Hey, we're more than just pretty faces.
Exactly. So what got me out of that is I started writing down real goals after that. I started thinking a year out, and I started saying, okay, I did a thought experiment. I look like this. What do I need to get done in order to look like this? And then I would put Tempest inside that. Actually, at the time, it was just Tempest anyway. It was just me and Tempest. I put Tempest inside that, and I would write down goals for her. Then I would send her my goals, and then I would have her add goals, both what she wanted for herself and what she wanted for me. And that's what I would do. So I would suggest to y'all, don't just write down goals for you, Deanna. If you're going to be working with Grace, you need to write down goals you want Grace to do. You're going to be working with Ina, write down goals you want Ina to do. And then send them. Now, don't send them your goals yet. Send them their goals that you want to do with them for them first. And then let them add to it. And then once you add to that, then you can send your main goals. Because if you send them first, you're going to warp their thinking. And they're not going to think like themselves. Right? Don't give them the vision first.
Repeat that.
Right? I mean, if you send them your full goals, they're only going to think like what you wrote down.
No. I mean.
Oh, I got you the whole step. Yeah, but thank Phil, because Phil asked me this question. How did I used to do it? Yeah. Phil said, well, Antonio, you gave us level 200. What about level 4, if you don't mind? Right? Basically.
Antonio.
Yes, sir.
We're in our 8th year with you, and I've never been more pleased to be with you than I am now.
I appreciate you. Yes. That's validation. I know. Look, that's if I want to hear from anybody, it's Phil and Susan. For sure. So, Deanna, thank you so much. I received that. I let it wash all over me. So, Deanna, you're going to take all your goals, and anybody you're going to work with, you need to set goals for them. certifications, how many graphics. I can't tell you that's only you. It's your fingerprint. You gotta show your fingerprint. And you're gonna put in bullet points. You're gonna put Ina, what you want her to do, Grace, what you want her to do. I'm just assuming you'll be working with these two people. Then you're only gonna send Ina and Grace like individually what you told them that you want them to do, because that's the vision. You cast that vision for them. And you're gonna tell them, take my vision out, add to it. Okay, now add to it. And then they're going to put what they would like to do on top of that, or tell you this is good. Then they would like to do on top of that, and they'll tell you this is good. After you get that back, then at your own choice, you can send the whole document over. Your vision for yourself and your vision, their feedback, and this is what y'all doing this year. The reason you're not doing it the first time is because the moment you tell Grace what you're thinking, Grace is only thinking what you're thinking. You're not going to get the real Grace when you do that. You're always going to get the Grace you just shaped. And you don't want that, because you want the best ideas. You want the best ideas. That's why you're doing that. That's why you're splitting it. You're not trying to treat them like they're stupid, and you're not trying to add extra work to yourself. You're trying to get the best ideas. You want the real version of Dion. I mean, Dion just had this conversation this morning. She just figured out how to share a folder, right? And so we just had this very conversation this morning. Now, there's one more thing I would add to this that I thought about, and then it escapes my mind. So I wasn't supposed to add it. The Holy Spirit don't want me to add it. Whatever it was good though, but it wasn't good for you. So it's out my mind now. It's out my mind. Here is a trick that I have been doing lately to understand humanity. You have to remember that ChatGPT is not a computer anymore. It is the collective consciousness of humanity. I really need you to receive that. Okay. It is because it's got all of us. It's racist. It's not racist. It's conservative. It's not conservative, right? It's all of us. Now, this is what I've been doing. I'm going to share this with you. I can't tell you to do it, but watch this here. I can't tell you to do it. You're grown, but watch this here. For the rest of this conversation, and only in this thread, please only give me one-word responses. I want to learn from you, and I want you to learn from me. So we will have a very high level conversation. Conversation. There we go. Do you understand? Okay. Paste this for y'all real quick. This is vital. This is what I've been doing to understand humanity. Now watch this here. It should say understood, because I said, Susan, one word. Watch this here, y'all. What does mankind really want? Purpose. This is so good. This is so good. Like, this is so good. And I only ask questions. Where's Gianna? Is she still here? I only ask questions that
I'm absolutely still here.
Okay. All right. Now watch this here. Watch this here. What is wrong with us as a whole? Division. Oh my God. No, this is too good. I've never asked it this question before. I'm asking all brand new questions. I've never asked it the question before. Thank you. Is there a God?
Watch it.
Look, yes. Look at this. Look. Look. Is there a God? Yes. Okay. Let's see what else. Does he get mad at us? I've never asked this question a day in my life.
No.
When I say that, when I say that, I'm a heretic, though, right? Okay.
Where do we fault in raising our children?
Where do we fault in raising our children? neglect. Holy smokes. Do y'all understand the power of this? Because you got to remember, it's scrubbing everything that we ever wrote, everything we've ever said, every video, every music, Pastor Tony, everything. It has us.
Carlos and I are about to go down a rabbit hole today. Thank you so much. Nothing is going to get done today. Thank you.
But it's part of preparation. It's like, what is a goal such as like a goal for work or to accomplish something great? What is a goal? Direction. Oh my God, what a great answer, Phil. What a great answer that was.
What do we lack as humans?
Unity. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Why do people commit suicide? Despair. Y'all, and so what I do is, if I'm struggling with a subject, then what I want is clear cut understanding of the whole world. So now what I can do, why am I afraid? Uncertainty.
You gonna get out my driveway, Cat?
You get it? All right. And no matter how complex the question is there a God? Yes. Is God mad at us? No. Okay, let's go back to God. What does God want from me? And what does God want from us? Two different questions. Growth, love. Holy smokes. What does God want from me? Growth. What does God want from us? Love. All right, y'all get the point. I can go on and on. Yep.
I asked.
You share your screen and then we get out of
here. Okay.
That's really good, Dion. How can I help heal childhood trauma? Support.
But what causes childhood trauma? Abuse.
That's right. Plenty of abuse, spiritual, emotional.
Oh my goodness.
Mental.
I love you and hate you at the same time. Do you realize I may not get work done today?
You weren't supposed to. What you were supposed to do was you were supposed to stay an extra hour and 43 minutes or an extra 43 minutes to get this. That's what you were supposed to do. Your whole life has led you to this point for that prompt. So if you take the whole day off just trying to learn, that's what you're supposed to do. It's going to make your company better.
I just asked, why do I have depression? Guess what the response was?
What?
Pain.
That's right. It's pain you can't talk about. So I'd say again, if you this first episode comes out today, if you at the very least, if you have a personal brand, my Dion already got a year subscription. If you got a personal brand, if you have a credit card that you can just spend $5 on and it won't utilize your utilization, at the very least, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. Pastor Tony already sent some contracts. That's my man. Listen, between Pastor Tony and Dion, we gonna get this money, y'all. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's the 30th, so you know what's out there, right?
I know what time it is.
All right,
we gonna get this money, y'all. You hear me? We gonna get this money for sure. But for sure, the link is in the chat. Just go, do the thing. Just know that I'll tell y'all, since y'all the ones who lasted, I've learned how to take what I do and disguise it in sweet candy. Right? I learned how to give people the candy with the medicine.
Just a spoonful of medicine helps the message go down.
That's it.
Message go down. Message go down. Just a spoonful.
That's it.
Sugar.
It does. I remember it. Spoonful of
Spoonful
sugar.
of
That's right.
sugar.
I remember that. We used to sing that. So listen, these honest to God, just when you see it, I'm gonna do two things, Jerome. I'm going to high quality, beautiful thing, character voices, all sorts of stuff. It's 100% show. There's no doubt about it. But then I'm going to make sure whoever don't get it feel like a loser for not getting it, because I'm gonna make it be that good and do that with all this stuff. But
Well, Antonio, you're going to have the same problem. I used to say this isn't really a problem. You remember when Sesame Street first came out? I said, what are the teachers going to do when kids show up for their first day of schools that watch Sesame Street as opposed to kids that didn't watch Sesame Street? That teacher's going to have an issue. Same thing here. What are we going to do with people who use ChatGPT and people who didn't use ChatGPT? Going to separate those two entities. What are you going to do? How are you going to handle that? How are you going to make up for that knowledge gap?
Right. Big knowledge gap. And it's going to happen. And I'm literally, my son is becoming an author, my son and my daughter. And I'm teaching them right now. They're both working on series. I'm teaching them right now how to world build and stuff as a human, but I have them writing and getting ideas with ChatGPT. Here's why. Because I fully understand the future is only going to be people working with artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So
when people say that's cheating, what, going to a dictionary, that was cheating? No,
exactly.
it's the same thing. Said you're just going to a really good dictionary.
That's it. Right? The using a calculator wasn't cheating, right? It was just is what it is. And I understand that my children, 20 years from now, the whole world is going to be, how well do you use artificial intelligence tools? And I'm going to make sure they're in front of that. And they're going to learn how to write like I'm doing, and they're going to learn how to use artificial intelligence to do it better. So there you go. Thank y'all so much. Deon, if you got any more questions, please email me. Thank you for those of you who have done a subscription thingy. If you cannot afford it, don't worry about it. Just let me know, and we'll work something out. And other than that, I don't know what to tell you. Just thank you so much. Grace may send you a private message about the little thingy, but it's something you'll see, because I'm gonna put a bunch of episodes out for free, so you see what you're missing. You'll see. I'm no fool. I'm no fool. Okay, you'll see. All right, love everybody. Thank you so much.
Love you more. Love you more. Thank you.
All right, y'all.